I've been working a lot too. A couple people quit. And so the
Oh,
kids, they come in early and I was like, if you want, I can just do their work and you guys can go home. And they were cool with that. And so I
huh.
had stayed late because I only work like 5 hours a night at most, usually.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked till
Right.
like almost 11 the other night, and I'm probably gonna try to do that this week too. Just be like, hey,
Nice.
because they
Yeah. Do you
trust
do
me.
salary? Are
I
you
get paid
salaried or by the hour?
hourly.
Oh, nice. Awesome
Yeah.
then. That's always great when you can pick up
But
extra
they're
time. Do you,
really nice, and all those kids, they keep telling me what a good worker I am. It's bizarre. I was like, I had to wait 20 years to be complimented at any job. They actually said I
yeah.
was doing good. Like,
Yeah.
and they tell me I'm a hard worker, and it's like it's kind of
Nice.
nice. Yeah,
Probably just because they're like you said, it's kind of a conservative place, right?
not
Kind of a
really.
more no. Oh. Hmm.
Mm-mm. They've got their little diversity thing. It's not like the university,
Right.
but
But right, it's not like a university or like one of the mainstream high schools.
right, they're
It's
all
more of a
young.
private school, right?
Everybody I work
So,
with's like in their early 20s, so
right.
I'm
Okay, so they
older
haven't
than
all
the
been
bosses
bringing it in.
even. Right. But they,
Mm,
because they trust me because I'd been a janitor for so many years, but
right. Yeah.
they're all real
Nice.
nice and I like it. I wish it was full time and I wouldn't have to do
Yeah.
that other job when school starts, but I'm just gonna do
Yeah.
both. And pray to God I don't get some awful neighbor. I'm just so
Yeah.
scared we're gonna
Yeah,
get like
I
some,
will definitely pray for you
yeah.
not to get a horrible neighbor. I
This
got
year's
these
been
gay
bad
dudes.
enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Enough. I've got these gay
Right.
dudes downstairs that are always like running around, like they're just random dudes running in and out with no shirts on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like 20, and they're just like coming and going all the time. And I'm just like, ew, gross.
At least you don't have to hear them though. If I was on the top, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing with that
Mm-hmm.
stupid staircase between us. That's what makes it
Yeah.
loud. If you get
Yeah, I've
fat
got terrible
people and
hearing too.
I do too.
Yeah,
And boy, you
yeah,
could hear them banging around when that
yeah.
other woman was there. And the thing with her, she was nice. At least you could go over and tell her to keep it down. But like, you might get
Right.
some asshole that's like, "Fuck off! I'm not gonna keep it
Yeah.
down."
Yeah. If you get somebody who feels racially oppressed,
Right.
baby, you can't be on the microphone or nobody can hear me. Yes, you got to
That's
be,
the thing with my
no,
job.
stop
Like
that.
they'll talk about people because everybody I work with is a minority. Well, actually, I'm the minority
Mm-hmm.
at that job, but
Yeah.
they talk about every like anybody that doesn't like them, they think they're racist. Like I've heard this from every person up there, and it's like maybe the
What?
people are just assholes.
Maybe you're just a dick. Like, I'm sorry. But everybody you meet's an asshole.
Well, there's this
Maybe
guy
they're
that
not the
works up
asshole.
there, and he's white, but he's
Uh-huh.
not very friendly. And he's not mean or anything, but he's just not friendly. And we were
Mm-hmm.
talking to this girl that works up there, or she quit, but me and the black girl that worked there were talking, and but I said, "Yeah, he's the only one that, doesn't really talk to me." And the black girl goes, "I don't think he likes colored folks." And it's like, he doesn't talk to me either, and I'm not black. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do
he's
with that.
just
He's just shy or something. And that's what that girl
yeah.
said. And it's like, why does everybody think it's always about race?
Oh
Like
my
that,
gosh,
like
because that's
this.
what we're told
I know
constantly.
it's
Like
fucking
you can't just
annoying.
have yes, I can't just dislike people because of what they behave like or what they,
Right. Yeah, or you get called right. Well, that's the
you're a
thing.
racist.
That job
And
I'm
it's a
supposed to
social go,
right.
sorry.
Oh, so to
It's just
say the job I'm supposed to do when school starts, the woman that hired me, like all the Mexicans are like, "Oh, she's a bitch," like one of them worked for her, and oh, she's mean, and I think she's
hmm
racist. And it's like maybe she's not racist, maybe she's just a bitch. Kind of like what Ben
maybe
Shapiro
yeah.
says about the cops. It's like that
Yeah.
they hate black people. It's like no, maybe the cop was just an asshole that pulled you over.
Yes.
I don't
Or
think it has
maybe
anything. I don't do that when
right.
somebody does it like me, almost because I'm white. I just think it's silly. But
Right.
me
Yeah.
and my dad were talking about that, and the thing is like these people have been told that from birth, that we're so
hmm
racist and evil, and it's like, and
Right.
we're not. I don't think most white people give a shit like what you do.
No.
We're
No.
just trying to
Yeah.
live our own
Well,
lives.
exactly. Just I mean, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to people who are more like you.
Right.
Being aware of, I mean, everybody wants social norms. It's easier to get along with somebody who thinks the same way you do, who believes the same way you do. I mean,
Right.
that's why Muslims congregate together. It's why Buddhists congregate together. I mean,
Right.
that's why we have churches and private schools that are just this one group of people. I mean, because
Right.
it's easier to get along in the world when you are surrounded by people who are like you.
Right. Well, it makes
And
things
that's
easier.
Yeah, exactly. It just, yeah, everybody thinks somewhat similarly,
Right,
you
because I mean,
know,
you
and
hang
that's
out with people you have shit in common with, like, when we're going to the
exactly
movies, if we don't we're gonna agree, we don't wanna go see some leftist propaganda film, so it makes
right,
it easier to go,
exactly,
"Let's go see this
exactly.
instead."
Hmm. I
I
mean,
just
and that's
really
and I mean the proof that like the proof of that for me was like is like my inability to hang out with gay people. You know, yeah, I'm attracted to dudes too. We have that in common, but we don't have anything else in common.
right. Well,
Has
that's the
nothing
thing.
to do with like that's why with like this identity thing. Like I was somebody sent me an article the other day that was about incel, the incels, right?
Oh,
Which
yeah,
I know
yeah.
you were telling me about a couple weeks ago. I hadn't
Yeah.
heard of, um, but because I follow a much smaller group of people on
Right.
YouTube now than I ever used to. Like I've deleted so many like shoe on head, all of those like
Skeptics.
I don't yeah the skeptic community I don't do anymore. I'm much more into kind of more politically Christian or white nationalism.
Mhm.
So I don't follow a lot of this like weird identity groups that the right, as they call themselves, or the alt right, whatever, not the real alt right, not Bree and those that sort of mindset, but the more like Sargon of Akkad, where they don't have a politics, they just are libertarians. That's what it is. They're
Right.
libertarians. I don't like libertarians. I think they're lazy and they just want to smoke weed. But
Right.
what was I saying? So the incel community. So these people have taken on this like celibate identity, and I'm
Mhm.
like, get a fucking hobby.
Right.
Like, get something to do with your time. Like, I can't imagine just sitting around all the time thinking about how I don't have sex. Like,
Right.
what the hell is
Right.
wrong with you? I
Right.
don't have sex. I don't. And like that's
Right.
like that's why how can something you don't do become an identity?
Right. Well,
Right?
did you see
It's
that
like
thing
the
on
straight
Twitter?
edgers. It's like, okay, you don't do drugs. Good for you. Like it's not an
Right.
identity though.
Right. Well, did you see that
Hmm.
thing on Twitter? It was like Pride Week or something, and all
Oh,
these
Pride
people,
Month. They've
yeah,
got
what
Pride
it,
Month
and I
now.
clicked on the little ad, and all these gay people were all pissed off because they're getting demonetized and they're just attacking right wingers. I mean, this is the whole thread, and I'm like, you know how many right wing people get
What?
demonetized, taken off Twitter? I mean, it's unbelievable. But I thought this is your whole thing. Like, this is all you have going for you is you're proud that you're gay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine, you're
Yeah.
gay.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares. It's
That's
like you
your
didn't get
problem,
enough
not mine.
attention. Like they don't get
Yeah.
enough attention or something. They need attention. And
That's
same with
exactly
other
what it
people,
is.
like women
Hmm.
too. Like, oh, but men are so mean. They keep us down. And you just see all this hateful stuff about men. I saw something on Facebook today when I was scrolling through there, and it was like somebody said, name something men can do better than women. It was like eat. And I thought, yeah, how about building stuff? Like most of the people you see out doing construction work are men
Hmm.
fixing toilets,
Yeah.
doing all the jobs,
Hmm.
military.
Roofing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Just
stuff that
anything
you're
that
not gonna
requires
wanna do.
muscle. Yeah.
Like, you've heard
They
that
can
Bill
eat.
Burr joke about that, haven't you? Like, where they talk about, "Oh, being a mom is the hardest job in the world," and he's like, "Try roofing as a redhead," you
Oh.
know?
Right.
It's
No,
like
I haven't
and
heard
it's
that.
like, I
But that's
agree, like
great. Yeah.
yeah, and
Hmm.
it's like, really, how hard I mean, I'm sure it's stressful somewhat, but it's not like you're out in,
Hmm.
like, sweaty heat
Well,
doing hard
there's just no
labor.
comparison of the two.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous to be like, oh, it's the hardest job in the world. It's like, well, it is difficult, like any
Right.
good job should be.
Right.
Anything that you're going to do well is not going to be easy. Like
Right.
that's why we don't give awards for the best thumbtack or like, oh, like paperclip maker. Yeah, like, oh,
Right.
you make the very
Right.
best paperclips in the whole world.
Right.
You sure can bend some wire.
Right.
Okay, well, fantastic. Way to go.
I just don't
Um,
understand why they always have to
and it
talk
has
down to
reward.
men.
No, I don't either. I don't
Right. Just
either.
this
I don't either.
hating men thing. It just I
Right.
think it's just
They want
disgusting.
to push us completely out of society. They want to push us completely out of having a voice
They
and
do.
keeping us from being able to because and I find the like dichotomy of the Garden of Eden, and women succumbing to temptation because their vanity was appealed to, right? Like, oh
Mhm.
look, it's a pretty apple. It will make you smart. And it's like, oh
Right.
yeah, women are like that, right? I mean, so and whereas men usually they make bad decisions, they know they're making a bad decision. women make bad decisions based upon their emotions.
Right.
You know, guys like know that what they're doing is wrong, and I'm not saying that makes it any better or worse. You know, it's just how it is. Women do it because they feel like it's the right thing to do. Men do it because they just want to do it. It's the wrong thing to do, right?
Right.
So I mean, everybody's guilty. It's just that they're
Right.
guilty for different reasons.
And then they just
And
have to pick on men too, like all these
mhm,
deadbeat dads. It's like there's deadbeat moms too.
there are
I had
plenty of
this
deadbeat moms
discussion with
out
this
there.
woman at that stupid women's group thing that I used to go to, and they were like, they should just give the baby the or the mom's name and all this stuff, and they're just shitting all
Whatever.
over the men. And I said, you know what? There's like shitty moms too. I don't
Uh-huh.
get, in fact, a lot of shitty moms, and a lot of
A
times they run the
lot of
men
shitty
away.
moms.
They
It's just
run the
like
men
they
away
happen
a
to be
lot.
stuck with the baby more often.
Right, because
Yes, you
they
gave
courts
birth to
grant
it.
them
It came inside
custody,
of you. Yes.
even
And,
if the
and yeah, just
mom's a
that. Like
crap show.
deadbeat dads go to prison. Deadbeat moms have drop-off centers.
Right, and they get
Like safe
welfare.
places. Yeah, safe places that they can leave their baby. Feel like you're going to kill your babies? Just drop them off here. We'll worry about the problems. We'll
Right,
get them adopted for you. And then
right,
20 years from now, when you want to see the baby again, just show up at the doorstep and we how dare we deny you your rights as a mother? Well, you gave up your rights as a mother. You're
right.
not anybody's mother. You know, my adopted
Mhm.
sister and brother dealt with that shit. It's like those people are not my relatives. They are not my family. You know, we may have a genetic connection, but that's it. I don't know those people and I don't want to know them. They didn't want to know me,
Well, they did what they
right?
thought they had to do.
Oh
They
no,
didn't
I
abort
yes,
them.
and I'm not right. No, and I'm not saying that that's the situation with everybody. Plenty of people give up their children because it's the best thing for the kid, right? Or so. I mean, I'm not saying, but at the same time, you have to understand kind of that mindset, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not trying to be like personalized about. I'm not trying to attack anybody who's had to give up a child or put a child up for adoption, but the child is going to feel that way to some degree. Sorry, that kind of weird went away from where I was really trying to get into, which was that we punish dads who can't take care of their kids or just aren't allowed to take care of their kids,
Well, and then
and we
dads pay
we
child
put
support
women
and
on
can't even see
pedestals.
their kids a lot
Yeah.
of times. I've known
Hmm.
a lot of parents like that. Like
Yeah.
one of my friends, his wife just straight up left him. She had a
Hmm.
postpartum depression, just took the baby one day, left. He's paying child support, had no idea where the kid was at. And then
Holy
the kid
cow.
grows up to hate them, like, oh, you were never in my life. And it's like, well, you didn't even know, or the mom won't let
Hmm.
the father even see the kid because they're mad at the
Yeah.
father for some reason, and you're just hurting the kid. It's just like,
Just running off with somebody else's son or daughter.
right.
How
I think there's
fucking
just a lot of
crazy.
stupid people having kids that shouldn't have kids.
Well,
Just a lot of
I
retards
know.
that
I just
shouldn't
wish people
be
like had
parents.
babies who I don't know.
It's like,
I
wait
mean,
till
it's
you're
so.
married and stable
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
then have
yeah.
kids.
Well, and then like this now, like our we've got all these this social issue of suicide, right?
Hmm.
All of a sudden, a couple of celebrities commit suicide, and so it's become, this social epidemic, and we've got to fix it. And it's
Right,
like,
even
well,
though
we can
people have
fix
been doing
it,
that for years.
right? Exactly. It's like, well, 50 years ago, before people even knew that there was such a thing as mentally unhealthy, right? People
Hmm.
were committing suicide back then too. And now we
Right,
spend we put so much more, we invest so much more time and money and energy into these people who are depressed, and yet we need to do more. And it's like, well, maybe just maybe there's something wrong with like our society.
right,
Maybe there's something wrong with us glorifying like premarital sex and homosexuality and all these culturally harmful things,
right.
doing drugs, being a pothead, being a leftist, you know,
Pornography.
socialism, pornography, exactly. We like glorify all these things, and yet, these are the things that's supposed to lead us to a brighter, better future, but people are
Right.
hanging themselves from what with their bathrobes.
Yeah, and people that have
Hmm.
money and shouldn't have a care in the
Hmm.
world, like the rest of
Right.
us have to work these shitty jobs and only can dream of
Hmm.
making that kind of money and not
Yeah.
having to do the jobs we have to do. And these people
Yeah.
have seem to have it all, and then yet something's still missing and they kill themselves.
Hmm. And the left treats it like it's inevitable. That's what's
Right.
so funny to me. Like, um, after Kate Spade hung herself, Hillary
Was that
Clinton,
the
or
handbag
that
lady?
was the handbag lady, yeah. So after she hung herself, Chelsea Clinton
Oh yeah.
tweeted out, she was like, I can remember the first time, my first Kate Spade bag my mom gave me when I was a teenager. My heart goes out to Kate Spade's family, right?
Mm.
And Ivanka Trump gets on and tweets, if you are depressed and having suicidal thoughts, please contact the National Suicide Hotline,
Mhm.
right? And puts the phone number out there and stuff. And the left attacks her as being heartless.
See, how is that heartless?
Yeah,
That's more
yeah. It's
like
like,
the Chelsea
no,
Clinton thing was
wait.
more like,
So
"Oh, it's all
Chelsea,
about me. I met her," and
exactly. She's like, yeah, I had a great bag. Whereas, it's like, no, get some help, please.
it's
Call
only because
someone.
she's Trump's daughter. They're gonna attack anything
Uh-huh.
Trump. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Trump could cure cancer tomorrow and they'd still find a
Mm-hmm.
reason. It's all team
Mm-hmm.
sports. You can't
Yes.
just admit like even with like Trump, like me and my dad have talked about it, like there's things that he's doing that I don't really care for, or things he's
No,
promised on the
absolutely
campaign.
not.
And then
Yeah.
there's these people that just like worship him, and it's like I
Mm-hmm.
don't get it. It's like you should be able to say when he's failing or when he's doing well.
Right.
I
That was
don't
the whole point. I thought that
I
was
w-
the whole point of like
right,
voting for a non-politician was he
right,
wasn't going to politic. He was going to do what I mean, that's why we voted for a populist, right?
right,
So why isn't he doing anything that we wanted him to? Why isn't he
right.
doing so many? I mean, I'm not saying he's not doing anything. He's
Right. No,
certainly
I'm
doing a lot of things, much more than Hillary Clinton would have
yeah,
done
oh, and I'm
from
glad
her
he's in there more than
promises.
Hillary. I mean, he
Yes,
got rid of that
absolutely.
mandate for
But
the
that's not a
insurance and all
yeah.
that
But
stuff.
that's not an argument. That's not a reason that
Right,
he's doing a great job is because he's not Hillary. It's like, well, no, thank God he's not Hillary. We didn't vote for Hillary. So why
right,
are we comparing him to her? We don't have to worry about her now. We need to
right.
worry about doing what we were like getting what we were promised.
That could be his
And
campaign
he's
next
not
time. At
doing
least I'm
it.
not Hillary,
Right. Well,
because he's
yeah,
not
and
doing
that's
stuff.
fantastic. But what I mean, and I don't know who they're going to run against him.
I don't know.
I
I've
have
always heard
no
Kamala
idea.
Harris. When I used to listen to Shapiro, she was
Yeah,
the one
but
he always said, but I don't know because I haven't really. I've been working, and then like when I'm not working, I haven't been like really watching. I've been watching like my TV shows on Hulu, like Garfield. I just watched all of Garfield and
right,
Friends. So I'm like
right.
kind of
Yeah,
taking a
I was
break
like,
from that
yeah,
crap because when I
I
start
know.
working two jobs, I'm not going to have time to watch as much TV. So I'm like, I want to get my Hulu stuff like watched and be
Right
done.
there, you go. Yeah, yeah. Because you will
So
have you do have more time to listen. And Anne's got a new book coming out
I
soon,
know
so
I
that'll
saw that.
rekindle my fire.
Right.
That'll get me interested again. It always
Right.
does. But
I've thought about pre-ordering it, but the price keeps going up. It seems like the first time I saw it, it was 20, then it was 22, then
yeah,
25. Now it's back down to 22. And I thought I'll just get it from the library.
go to the
I'm
Play Store. Go on
bored
Google
now,
Play
so
Store. Go on Google Play Store, and you can get it for 14.95.
I'll just get it from the library and I won't pay for it
Okay,
at all.
yeah, okay.
She has
I
enough
mean,
money.
I'll have a copy. You
Right.
won't like,
Right.
I'll read it in 2 or 3 days, and I'll loan it to you.
Oh, I was looking
I mean,
there.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna be,
Right. Her
yeah.
books are quick reads. I listened to Mugged
Hmm.
Up at Work a couple weeks ago and I got through it in 2 days, just listening
Yeah.
to it
Oh
while I
yeah.
worked.
Oh
It's
yeah.
funny. There's parts that made me laugh. Like
Still, like every
she's
time I listen to
clever.
any of them, yeah, I love all of her audiobooks just because I can listen to them over and over again, and they're interesting. And um, I've got some other books on my Audible account that you need to check out. I don't remember that message I sent you about the woman on the Hagman and Hagman show.
Yeah.
So yeah, her book, I've got it on my Audible. You should give it a
What's it
listen.
what's it called? You should
It's
just send me the list of them,
okay, that's what yeah, I'll do that when we get off. I'll send
and then
you.
I can
It's
look on Amazon for them.
yeah, it's like American Subversion or American, but it's all about it's about like the communist takeover. It compares like the the McCarthy era, like ridiculousness of them being like, oh, you just see communists
Oh, right.
everywhere, under the bed and everything.
And there
And she's
were.
like, well, it turns out there were communists under the bed.
Right.
And 50 years later, we can see that, like we can read where all these people he was accusing of being communists were communists. And we're actually
Right.
doing the things that he accused them of. So, and she compares that to like now what's going on with the Muslim like indoctrination and takeover of our country. They're
Right.
doing the exact same thing, right? But she goes into how like, and that's one of the things like every time I see a Twitter or a tweet about Charles Krauthammer and how horrible it is. And it said, yeah, it's really sad. I'm sorry,
Oh, doesn't he have
Charles
cancer?
Krauthammer. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he's not a hero of the right. Back when Obama was running for president, he was like, oh, he's not a socialist. People are just silly. They don't know. He's not a socialist. It's like, what do you think he is then? Please, Charles Krauthammer, you're the
Is he a
smartest man in the
writer?
world, right? Yeah,
Was he
he's
a
an
writer?
author, and
Okay.
he was an author. He was also, he was always on Fox News, always. He is like a really, really boring, or he seems really boring. He's actually paralyzed from the neck down.
Okay.
Like he
Yeah, I'm
was,
not
as
sure.
a young
I've heard
man,
of
he
him.
like dove into a pool. Yeah, I mean, he's an intelligent guy, and I respect lots of the things that he's said and written, you know. But when it comes to like helping us guard against socialism, no, no. And that's what I love about this woman, about her book, is it's very like she reads it and she's very cute. She's a tiny, teeny, tiny little thing, and she's got this squeaky little voice, right? And she's
Mhm.
reading about like what a pussy Charles Krauthammer is. She's like,
Right.
whatever. He didn't do anything to defend us against this kind of Nazism. And it's just like, you're a
Right.
badass.
I think Nick
Like,
was talking about him too, kind of saying the same
mm-hmm,
thing that he was smart, but
mm-hmm,
he
yeah.
wasn't like a hero or whatever.
No, he was, I mean, he was the lefty side of like Fox News, which means, yeah, he's pretty
Like Bill
far right.
O'Reilly,
Yeah, like Bill O'Reilly, except exactly, or what's her name? The one that's a
Judge Janine.
Scientologist. No,
Oh,
no. Judge Janine, I'm actually a pretty big fan of.
I like her,
She's a
but she's
little too Trump trained for
yeah, that's what I
me.
was gonna say.
Like I really don't like it when people I know or that I've watched for years and I really respect, all of a sudden are just like, well, no, I'm not even going to worry about the things that I said 3 weeks ago because Trump
Right.
says that's not a problem.
What
It's
happened to
like,
Megan
no,
Kelly?
it's still a problem. She went to CBS.
I knew that, but did she get canceled?
Yeah,
Because you never hear about her
I
anymore.
hope so. Yeah, it was. She made such a joke of herself.
She should have just stayed on Fox. It's like I know they were paying. She didn't get. She got more money
She should
from
have just
moving,
kept her
but
mouth shut. She should have just kept her mouth shut and like gone, kept being Megan Kelly. I don't know. She started kissing the left ass and
yeah.
decided to attack Trump. And it's like that's fine. If you want to attack Trump, attack him, but don't do it because you're for no reason,
Did you read her
right?
book?
No,
I saw it.
no.
I saw
Did
it at a
any? I don't
thrift
think
store.
anybody did. Yeah, you probably did for like
I
a
heard it.
buck.
I heard it wasn't very
Yeah.
good.
No, nobody. Like it sold crap. Like she really like I mean because she really was like the it girl just before Trump.
Yeah, I
Like she was like
remember.
the conservative it girl, and like
Yeah.
I read articles comparing her to Ann Coulter, and
No,
I
Anne's way
even then
better.
I was like, well, no, yeah,
Well,
she's no
Anne's
Ann
not on
Coulter.
Howard
She's not
Stern
even
talking about
funny.
husband
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
Like
exactly,
that. I mean, I don't think
exactly.
she was really a conservative. She was probably just doing whatever she
Mm-mm.
had to do to get
Mm-hmm.
money.
Yeah, she's done with so many like Bill O'Reilly. I think he was the same thing. I don't think
Yeah.
he's, and that's another thing that what's her name, and I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now. But she is more in this book. She also writes about like Bill O'Reilly and how he's supposed to be, such a capitalist and so like free market, and yet he never ever once spoke out against Obama as a
No, he
socialist,
liked the
and said
Obamas,
lots
didn't
of
he?
yeah, he was very complimentary of the Obamas, and of course he did pretty quickly start criticizing, but it's not like the signs weren't there.
Right.
I mean, it's not as if like we're like he didn't do anything like that should have shocked anybody. Like anybody down here on the ground knew he was a socialist.
Right.
Nobody was surprised he was a communist, and yet Bill O'Reilly and Charles Krauthammer and all these people who are supposed to be conservatives are saying, oh, oh, well, he's not a socialist, he's not a socialist. And then all of a sudden he starts doing exactly what he said he was going to do. And they're like,
Hmm.
dirty socialists.
Yeah. They should have
It's like,
known right off the
what?
bat.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like if you're, one of the voices of America, one of the great conservative minds of America, why aren't you being a better conservative?
Right. Oh, yeah, you were talking about running. I heard Bernie Sanders say he was going to run again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping that he's made enough of a joke of himself to not really be able to garner any kind of support.
Yeah, because I'm
I
sure
mean,
there's still those
because
people out there that like him, a
yeah,
lot of
oh
young
yeah,
people.
oh yeah, and he's offering
Right.
free stuff he can't deliver, free stuff that
No.
there's no that I mean he'll he'll and the idea and I'm not anti-Semitic, but the idea of a Jew as a president scares the hell out of me.
Well, his wife bankrupted a college.
Yeah, yeah, very Jewish.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and that's the thing is, I have Jewish blood. I have Jewish, I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't have a problem with Jewish people.
No, me
I
neither.
respect Israel. I love Israel. Do I think that it's ridiculous that they want us to fight wars for them all the time? Absolutely. Do I think we
Right.
should support them and defend them? Absolutely. Do I think that we should march into countries because Israel wants us to? No. Do I think that we
No.
should allow the same kind of government that the Israeli people have? No, no. I mean, because they have a democracy, and I
Mhm.
don't like democracy. Democracy is all the foxes getting together and voting to eat chickens for dinner.
Right.
But so I don't like the idea of democracy. I know it's a bad thing. The republic is the way to go. It is fantastic if we're going to have an earthly government, right?
Then we would have had
So
Hillary Clinton.
exactly, right? Yeah, we would have had Hillary Clinton if we
We
had
never have a
democracy.
conservative ever again.
No, ever.
Not that I
No,
think Trump's
never,
conservative,
never.
but
It's,
you-
well, yeah, but no, but because you
more
can't,
so than
there, with our lefty media, you can't have, you could never get the popular vote because a conservative isn't going to make promises that he doesn't intend to keep. Not a true conservative. I'm not talking about Bushes or
right.
anything like
They
that.
weren't
I'm
really
talking about
conservatives
no,
either.
not at all, not at all. I mean, they all went to school at Yale. Why would anybody, and this is all stuff I didn't realize back when I first became a conservative. I mean, I used to be very defensive of George Bush Jr., not senior. I
Yeah, I always
never
kind of
ever
felt sorry for
thought
him the way people
senior.
talked about him, though.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like better than some of
and
the people we had as
yeah,
president.
oh
And
yeah, but
after coming off Bill
he's
Clinton,
still
I
a fox.
mean,
He's still a
right,
fox. He's still no, he still can't be trusted.
right.
Um,
I don't think any of
eh,
them can, though. I don't trust
No,
Trump
no,
either.
no, no, no.
I think
I don't
they're
think
all bought and paid
not at
for.
this point. Yeah, not at this point. Like maybe if we could have like a soft revolution where
Right.
we really did take back our republic government, we shipped out the people in America who don't believe, and I'm not talking about legal Americans, but if we got rid of all these illegal immigrants who don't believe in American values, who don't support a republic,
Right.
I think we could even win the liberals back.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's not this like, I mean, and that's the thing, and that's why they beat it like the dead horse it is. Racism is it's the only thing they have going for them. It's the
Right.
only thing that they have any chance
Well, and
of.
the people, like you said, people are dumb. Where you said this the
Mm-hmm.
other day, and it's not. Well, I don't think they're dumb. They're just ignorant to what's going
Mm-hmm.
on because their schools
Yeah.
don't teach anybody anything.
Yeah.
And these
Yeah.
kids
And
watch
you
TV,
don't know
and
what you don't know.
just hear sound bites of stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the kids I work with. They're all real sweet and everything, but they don't know
Yeah.
stuff. Like I had this one kid, and his parents are from El Salvador, and he was talking about how he had a relative that lived somewhere near here, and that they still had a problem with racism. And I thought, who, like where? I mean, what? I like I said, me and my dad talked about this, and he said they've been
Mm-hmm.
ginning this stuff up since the 60s. He
Yeah.
said it started with
Yeah.
the civil rights enactment, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how they keep everybody against each other too, because they can play the race card instead of us all come together and say, hey, we're all being screwed.
Yeah.
Like then you can
Yeah.
just put the races against each other. No, now it's the white man's evil,
Mm-hmm.
and white
Yeah.
people are the
Yeah.
cause of all your problems, even though you moved to their country. If we're so evil, why don't you leave then? If you think
Stop
we're all
coming
racist,
here.
why are you here?
Yeah.
If your
Yeah.
countries are so
If we're
wonderful,
so
why didn't you?
evil and dangerous and cruel, like why are you moving here to subvert our government? Why are we letting you do
Exactly.
that?
But
Why
they
are we
don't know.
allowing that?
A lot of these kids,
Yeah.
these young people, they don't know. They just hear certain
Mm-hmm.
things, and they don't read because a lot of people don't have time to read for themselves or find stuff
Right.
out, and
Yeah.
so they don't really know what the hell's going on. I was like that for a long time too.
Hmm.
And then it's kind of like you were talking about the gay people. That's part of the thing. Like I think the older gay people weren't like that so much. They just wanted to be left alone. And now you've got these young people like, look at us, and they have to dance in the street.
Yeah.
And same with women.
Well,
Like, oh, we've got to be just like men, and we've got to do this. And if you wanted to have a family or do things like sew or do just cook, do things that women traditionally like to do. Oh, you can't have that. That's
yeah.
keeping you down.
No.
And it's because they
Yeah,
teach this
exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
It's
Like
all bullshit.
hmm our place in society was always second class citizens. Well, no, it really
Exactly.
wasn't. You
No.
were just, you were women, and women did women's things. They didn't
Right.
want to do what men were doing. They didn't have, now like a couple of lesbians got together and decided they wanted to be men. So we're not allowed to be like, but wait, you're not made for that.
Right.
You can't do that because you can't do that. And
Or
that's
thinking there's
the
something
whole,
wrong with just wanting to sew and do girl things. Like I
right.
like doing
Yeah.
girl things, but I like guy things too. I like violent movies and things like that, but at the
Why?
same time I don't want to go out have to dig ditches and do stuff that guys do.
Right? Well,
I don't
like what is wrong? I mean, I don't understand why violent movies would be even considered a male female thing. I guess
because of
because like Die
testosterone maybe. I
Hard,
don't know.
yeah, well, that males don't have that
Most
anymore.
girls I know
We're
don't
not
like
allowed
stuff like
to.
RoboCop and the kind of shit that
Right?
we watch. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a
They want to watch rom-coms. I get it.
see, and I hate
I don't.
rom-coms.
Oh, I can't do it either. Yeah, I'm just like I don't care about their feelings. I
Right.
really
Some of the
don't.
older ones I like from the 40s and stuff.
Well,
But
yeah, that's yeah. Well, they appealed across like the board. It wasn't about like you didn't have the more identity driven movies. There was
right.
never like a Black Panther movie. There was like Carmen Jones, which was one of the very first film that starred nothing but black people,
Right. But you can
right?
understand
And
why back then though,
and
because blacks weren't really allowed. I mean, they were in our movies, but it was always a mammy
right,
or a
right.
servant, or they'd make fun of blacks. So if they had a black
Hmm.
movie, like there's a silent movie, God, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was King Vidor did it.
Hmm. I think
Hallelujah, maybe that's what it's called, and it was like all black people, but it showed like blacks in a good light, not like, oh, we're all stupid. So I can see why
right.
old movies they had their own stuff, but
Hmm.
nowadays, I mean, the
What's the
stupid
need?
Wakanda and it's like, come
Wakanda,
on.
Wakanda.
They act like it's a
So
real
dumb.
thing. Like
Yeah,
you hear these people
yeah,
talking about it, it's like it's a comic
yes.
book thing.
Yes, it's a made up thing. And speaking of which, why do you have such a problem with a white identitarian movement, but no problem with black identitarian
Right.
movement?
It's like
Why
I
is
thought
that there to be a
right.
black nation? Why is that a bad thing or a good thing, but a white nation is a bad thing?
Right. And why, and I thought
We
the
just
whole
want you to
part of this
leave. Nobody wants to kill you.
right.
Right?
I thought the whole part of the Civil Rights Act was so that everybody would be like stop being tribal and treat
Yeah.
each other the same. But
Speaking
it's like, oh,
speaking of
there's all
Black
these
Panther,
identity groups except whites aren't allowed to have one. That's like
speaking of
the
Black Panther,
difference.
the whole scene with them screeching like monkeys at the white people, and then for Roseanne, who I find no racism in the statement she made.
No, I didn't either. It's
None
just
at all.
silly.
None at all. I mean, it was like, I'm sorry, the woman looks like a monkey, like Planet of the Apes. Not
Right.
because
She's
of any
black.
sort of, it has nothing to do with, but she looks like Planet of the Apes. Like her face is like a mask.
Mhm.
Her face is like a mask, and she's hideous, just like anybody related to Obama and anybody
Right.
tied to Obama.
Right.
These are ugly black people, but it
Right.
doesn't matter. So I like, and I think the whole reason they went for the racist is because nobody's talking about the fact that she is very closely involved with the Muslim Brotherhood.
Roseanne is?
No, no, no.
Oh,
What's her
very
name? Valley
Jowler.
Jarrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As instead of talking about the fact that she is involved with the Muslim Brotherhood, we'll talk about the Planet of the Apes part of the comment,
Right.
right?
Ignore the
So
important stuff.
exactly, ignore what's important, and that she's a like totalitarian, Muslim. No, we don't need to pay any attention to that because they always use women to subvert. That's what's really
Mhm.
interesting about the high up Muslims in our government. They tend to be women. They fall right into line with what they're supposed to do when it comes to respecting Islam, but they are used to subvert the American nationalism.
Mhm.
So, but yeah,
So
I
does
don't
do you
think
think
there's anything
that's
at all racist about what Roseanne
no?
said.
They're just going after her. Is that why her show
Mm-hmm.
got canceled? Is that the real
Yeah.
reason?
Yeah.
That is so
Yeah.
stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Yep.
people can talk about wanting to kill white people and nothing happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it's just
Right.
unbelievable. I think white
Samantha
people
Bee
are gonna
calls
get
it Samantha
tired of this
Bee
shit.
calls the president's daughter a feckless cunt.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And nothing.
Yeah,
She's lost almost every single advertiser she had though.
good.
So they'll take her off soon enough. And
She's
I mean
not
that's the thing is
funny.
I don't yeah, no, she's not funny. She's never been funny. They'll take her off the air just because they won't be able to make any money with her, but they'll very quickly try to turn around and put her right back onto something else.
And I don't really care what people say when they're, I mean, let them say
And
whatever
I
they want, but I don't think
mm-hmm,
Roseanne should get fired for that and then other people
mm-mm.
get away with stuff.
Yeah, the number one comedy in America at the time, and I don't care. I have not watched it. I don't have
Yeah, I
any
don't care
interest
about
in
it. They
watching
have
it.
supposedly they have a
Hmm.
kid that's trans in it or something.
Yeah, they have a trans son.
And it's
Yeah,
like, why can't you just
yeah,
have a comedy about like normal
yeah,
folk without having to
exactly.
infuse all that
Well,
garbage
it's
in
about
it?
normalizing all this crap. It's still about
Mhm.
normalizing all this crap. And Roseanne has always been a big normalizer of gay culture. That's just part of, I mean, that's who she is as a person. And I disagree with her on that. So I can't, like, I mean, I loved the show when I was a teenager because it was all, like, half the show was about gay people.
Mhm.
I was like,
I
oh,
remember
this is
she kissed
great.
me.
Gay
Didn't
people on
she kiss?
TV.
I never really watched it much. I've seen a few
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
Did she kiss Marielle Hemingway, or was it someone else that kissed
Yeah.
Marielle?
Mariel Hemingway was the one who kissed her. And
Yeah.
then, who I'm not even, is she a lesbian or
No,
no?
no, she's married.
Hmm.
I love her. She's really sweet. We met her at a horror
Mm-hmm.
con.
Yeah. I mean, no, I've always thought she seemed like a nice person. I love her in
We had fun.
Delirious. I love that
Yeah,
movie. That is probably one of the funniest comedies I've ever seen. I was just thinking about that the other
I
day.
need to watch it
Like, I
again though.
need to
John
watch
Candy.
Delirious. Yes. John Candy. He was
I
one,
love
I did
John
not like
Candy.
John Candy when I was a
Aw,
kid.
I did. I
I
love
know,
John
I know,
Candy.
I know, no. But when I saw Delirious, I was like 16 when that movie came out on HBO. And I watched it. And then I went back and watched a bunch of other John Candy stuff. And I've loved him ever since. He
Yeah, he's
really was a
funny.
funny dude.
You gotta
Really.
watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles again if you don't remember
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I have
It's a
no, you
crack.
were telling me, yeah, I
It
haven't
is so
watched it since
funny.
forever ago. Yeah.
Oh, I
But I
watched
just
Pee Wee yesterday.
and he did it without being offensive or disgusting
Right.
or
Well, that's what's
he
fun
was
about that movie. There's no
it was family
politics in it.
oriented, right? Yeah. I mean, there was some jokes in there for adults, but it wasn't about like, taking a shit in the middle of the road in a bridal gown. What is
Right.
that? Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
Oh, you talk about Bridesmaids?
Yeah.
Oh, I like Bridesmaids. That was
Okay.
kind of
I mean,
gross,
I'm
but
not saying that I
well, it's
didn't
because
find
they
certain
ate
parts
in
of
it.
it funny. Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't find parts of it funny. I don't think like these like Judd Apatow, he's the one that makes all
Yeah, I
those
don't.
disgusting
He didn't do
movies.
Bridesmaids, did he? I don't think he did
Yeah,
Bridesmaids.
yeah, yeah. He might not have been. Yeah, he was the director. Yeah, but I mean, he did like there's a bunch of them that
No,
he
Paul
did,
Feig
and
directed it.
yeah, yeah. But the one, what was the one?
He
Oh, I
did
don't like
40-Year-Old
her.
Virgin, did he? Didn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah, he did 40-year-old
See, I
virgin
didn't really
too.
like that either.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was funny one time, but I tried to watch it again and I was like, this is just gross and dumb. And then the other day, somebody put on Wolves of Wall Street, which I know has nothing to do with Judd Apatow or anything that we've been
I
talking
kind of
about,
like that
except for the fact
movie.
that it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, he
I mean, it's
produced
so
right.
gross.
He produced Bridesmaids, but that other guy
Yeah.
directed.
Oh, okay. Oh, he didn't direct. Okay. And I mean,
Um.
and I love that they have Wilson Phillips in it. I love
Oh
lots of
yeah.
things about Bridesmaids. I don't understand, like, oh, it's disgusting and it's funny because women are doing it.
Oh, see, I just never really
You
thought of it
know?
like that. I just thought they ate like
Yeah.
it's kind of like Dumb
Right.
and Dumber when he get put laxatives in his
Right. No,
drink or
I
whatever.
mean, but they really did. I thought they pushed the Bridesmaids thing. Like, it's really funny because women are gross to you. And I'm
Oh,
just
see,
like,
I
so
didn't really think of
what?
it like
Like,
that. I just thought it was
yeah.
funny.
What about Ghostbusters?
I didn't watch
Did you
it. I have
see
no
that? Oh
interest
my
in it.
God, it's so
It looks
bad.
stupid.
I didn't make it through the first 30 minutes. There's
Yeah.
nothing funny in it. And it's just like, look, women aren't funny too.
Yeah,
It's
and they
like,
they
oh
keep
my
pushing this
gosh.
women aren't funny.
Yeah.
There are funny women, but they don't put them in
Yes.
movies anymore. Because I always
No.
hear Nick Fuentes saying that, "Oh, women aren't funny," and a lot of the alt-right people say that. And it's like, actually, a lot of women are funny. Have you watched The Golden Girls? Have you watched Mama's
Mm-hmm.
Family? They were character actors, and they were funny.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of funny
Yeah.
women. Elvira was funny. I can list
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them. But it's like when you put
Yes.
them, like you said, when you make them nasty, a lot of times it doesn't work, and it's not
Yeah,
funny.
it's just not appealing. It's just, I
Right.
mean, it's not
I
appealing
don't
to
even think
watch.
guys doing that stuff is funny, really. Like most of the guy
And well,
humor that I find, well, I don't find like jackass stuff funny. Like I think it's
mm-hmm.
gross.
Right, yeah, but no, like Christine Applegate, she's hysterical.
Yeah, she is.
I don't agree with a bit of her politics. I don't agree with many things about her, but I think she's very funny,
She is funny. He's funny on
you
Married
know?
with Children.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought
she
Marcy
was
was
funny.
funny on that
That
too.
movie that she did with what's her name?
Oh, Cameron
Cameron
Diaz. I never
Diaz.
saw
Yeah, and
that.
Selma Hayek.
Sweetest thing.
No, you should. It's really funny. It's really funny. It's
The sweetest
that the
thing.
sweetest thing. Yeah, it
Yeah, I
is. It's really
remember
funny.
seeing it. I just never
Hmm
watched it because I can't
And I
stand
really
her
like Selma
stupid.
Blair.
Yeah, I like her
No, I don't like
too.
Cameron Diaz,
She
but
is just
Selma
gross to
Blair.
me. I don't know why all these
Yeah,
people think she's
yeah.
gorgeous. It's like, no, she's
No,
really not.
no, she really isn't. No, no, I never got that either. I remember when The Mask came out.
Oh, me
That's when
too.
she blew up, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so beautiful." And I
She
was just
looked
like,
better in that than anything else she's been in, but
well,
I don't think
yeah,
she's.
yeah, but
She
it's
looks
this
like a
weird thing where they
skeleton
take
or
like these,
something.
yeah, yeah, they take these like uber skinny, like kind of gross, like handbag face women,
Right,
and they slap a bunch of makeup on them to make them look natural,
right,
and
right.
like they did it like with Meg Ryan, and they fooled
Yeah,
me
she
with
was.
Meg
Meg
Ryan.
Ryan was pretty when she was young. She
She
didn't
was
age well.
cute. She was
Yeah, she
cute.
wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but she was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
she was
cute,
cute.
but yeah, and I
She
mean,
wasn't the
she had
greatest
like
actress, but
no. Did you ever
she was
what that was
cute.
that movie she did with
Sleepless in Seattle.
No, oh my God, I
I
hate that movie so much. I loved
haven't
it when I was,
I haven't
yeah,
seen
but
it
now I
since it
can't.
came out in the 90s. I saw it once.
Right.
I liked it
Yeah.
then.
It was on TV one night and I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this sucks. This sucks so
Right.
bad.
I
Like
don't like
everything
Tom
about
Hanks.
this. No, no, I don't like Tom Hanks any.
And not because of
I've
his
never
politics, I
really.
just don't think he's great. And I like a lot of the
Hmm
movies he's in. I love Turner and
hmm
Hooch. I love Splash.
Yeah, I like
Um,
his old stuff where he didn't
yeah,
have anything to do with the production.
right. I like The Green Mile, but I don't think he was right for it. Like if you read the book, they could have
No.
had someone
Oh
else play him.
no. But
Da
that was a
Vinci Code could have
fantastic
had somebody
movie.
else play him. Like, I
Hmm
don't think he's that good of an actor. He was better when he did comedies, when he was silly,
Yeah.
like Turner and
Yeah.
Hoot.
Yep.
He was funny. He's not good at
Yep.
playing like serious. I don't
No,
know.
he's not.
I
No,
don't know
he's
why
not a
so
very good
many
actor.
actors want to do that. They'll be funny and then they'll have a career and then they're like, I want to do serious drama. And it's like, you have
Hmm
enough serious drama people. We need funny people. Like, stop trying to
hmm
be serious. Like,
Yeah.
if John
Well, it's like
Candy had
I
given
can't.
up and went and did dramas, no one would have gave a damn. Like, everybody
Hmm
wanted him to be funny. Or Jim Carrey, that was his problem. He went off and started
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
shit
Well,
movies. It's like,
and it
just be
was great.
silly.
Like when he did like Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah, that was a good
Like
movie, but
that was like a really good combo. Well, no, I mean it
someone
was
else
good
could
for
have played
him
him. That would
because yeah, it was he did the dramatic stuff really well, but he did the
have,
comedy stuff really well.
right.
You know. But
But I
I
don't
it
think a lot
wasn't
of people can do comedy, at least that I don't think
no,
that me.
no. Like Elijah Wood when he was doing that comedy show with his
No, I haven't
dog or
seen him.
something. Oh,
I haven't seen
he
that.
did like a Comedy Central show and it was terrible. It was just awful. I don't think Elijah Wood is funny.
No, he doesn't seem like he'd be
Like he's
funny.
too sad looking. Like, you just want
Right.
to be like, "Oh, you were touched when you were a little boy." I
Isn't
can
his
tell.
career about
It's in
over?
your eyes.
He does
Yeah,
conventions
yeah,
now, so
yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And then like Meryl Streep. Why did she go and ruin everything?
right.
Why?
I just watched a
Why?
movie with her last week, that Julie and Julia. Have you ever seen it? The
Mhm.
Julia Child.
Mhm.
It's a good movie, and
Yeah.
I got
It
the book at a
is.
thrift
It
store,
is.
and I like
Did
Amy
you?
Adams too, but it's
Yeah,
like
she's
they
another one
always
though. I don't.
have to open
Yeah.
their mouths and, like you said,
hmm
ruin it. Because I liked Meryl Streep too, and I liked a lot of her movies. And
We've
then,
always loved Meryl Streep.
yeah, and
Always.
yeah.
I've always loved her.
At
And now
least
I
Goldie
can't watch
Hawn
a
hasn't
Meryl
come out and
Streep
said anything.
movie. She has, but she nobody really cares about what Goldie Hawn says
Yeah.
if you don't read about it, because she's not very appealing to look
No,
at
not anymore.
anymore. Yeah,
She
she's
screwed her
like,
face up with plastic
it's
surgery, I
right,
think.
and it's really weird because she looks more like Kate Hudson now
Right,
than
because
as
I
a
never thought
kid,
they looked
right?
alike, and I
No,
never thought Kate
no,
Hudson was that pretty either. I watched
yeah,
Almost
no, she's
Famous
not.
last week, and she got an
Mm-hmm.
Academy Award for that, and that's a good movie, but it's like, why? Like, why did she get an
I've
Academy
never
Award
watched that.
nomination for that?
Yeah,
It's a good movie.
it's a
Chris
Donnie
liked it. He
Wahlberg, isn't
never,
it?
he
Isn't that
Chris
Marky
watched it.
Mark?
He
I
never
mean,
seen it. No, that's the
no.
Cameron Crowe movie where he goes
Uh,
on tour with that band. It's kind of based on his experiences because he wrote for
mm-hmm.
Rolling Stone, but he
Right.
just goes out and like she's like a groupie in it. Kate Hudson. It
Yeah.
was her first big movie, I guess, because that's the only thing
Yeah.
at the time I remembered her being in, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's so gorgeous," and I watched, and I'm like, "She's cute, but she's not
Yeah.
gorgeous." Like I
Yeah.
don't, because
She's
she's
kind of
Goldie Hawn's
annoying.
daughter. Goldie Hawn was
Yeah.
way better, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and funnier.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Mm-hmm.
Private Benjamin, and I can watch that over and
Way
over again.
funnier. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Cactus Flower?
Yeah, you showed that to me.
Oh, such
And
a
I like
fucking
that too.
amazing
And you
movie.
showed me Butterflies Are
So
Free
good.
too,
Right?
because I
Right.
haven't
Oh
seen that yet.
yes. That's another one I need to watch again. I haven't
Me
watched
too. I
Butterflies
need
Are
to watch
Free in
both of those
forever.
again. But
Uh-huh.
she
And
was
back
I
I would
loved
and
Goldie back
Laughing.
then.
I wish Laughing was
Yeah.
on.
I saw that. I think it's on DVD now.
Oh
I saw it
sweet.
so I saw it somewhere. It was on Amazon Prime or somewhere I saw it because I was like, I should
Yeah.
watch it because I watched it when I was a kid. Because it's
Yeah.
weird,
It'll be
Lily
interesting
Tomlin was on
now.
that.
Mm-hmm. Lily
And I used
Tomlin
to
was
like
on
her
that,
too, and she's
and
a nut
Ruth
too.
Buzzy. Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah.
She is a nut. I felt
I
so
loved
bad for
her in
Dolly
Big
Parton.
Business. Oh yeah,
Felt
at that
so
award
bad for Dolly.
show.
I know. Yeah, I would love to watch Big Business again. I love that
Yeah.
movie, but I'm just sure that I'll be annoyed the whole time.
Yeah, I
But
love
yeah,
Big Business too.
poor Dolly Parton. She was just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, these bitches are nuts.
Have you read her
Somebody get
book?
me out of here, huh?
Have you ever read
Huh?
Dolly's book?
No,
It's good. I
huh?
read
Is
it.
it?
Yeah, I
I
liked
bet it
it, but
is.
because I go through it. I'm reading a book about Cary Grant right now. But you don't read. Do you read
Oh,
stuff like that anymore? Because I can give it to you when
on
I'm done with it if you
occasion, I
want
would
it.
like to read about Cary Grant. I
It's
find him
basically like
interesting.
he's a closet homosexual. That's basically like so
Really?
far, yeah, like that's what it's making it out to be.
I've
And I don't
heard
know if
like
the
I've heard that forever. I don't
yeah,
know
me
if there's any
too.
truth. I mean, maybe. I don't,
Yeah, it might be. You don't know. They covered a lot of
hmm
that stuff up back then,
Yeah,
but
it's different like with Rock Hudson. Like Rock Hudson doesn't surprise me,
right,
and then when he died of AIDS, of course, like yeah, gay people died of AIDS back then, right?
right,
So it's
right,
like okay, there is some basis in that rumor maybe. But with
right.
Cary Grant, I don't find it as believable. But I get, he did discovered by Mae West. So, and I know that like that was her running crowd
Well, that
when
was what
she
that book
was,
said. It says people say
uh-huh,
she did, but she really didn't. She kind of took credit
right,
for it. Mae
uh-huh,
West, and like
yeah,
she's really full of herself. But I love
yeah,
Mae
yeah.
West
No, I
too.
love her too. I mean, I love her. I like her like tongue-in-cheek comedy. Like she
Yeah,
made
me too.
jokes about sex, but they weren't raunchy. They weren't
Right.
disgusting.
I
She
like the
had
circus
she
movie
was
she
like the
did.
hooker with a heart of gold thing.
Right. What was the
Yeah.
circus one she did? Was I'm No Angel,
Oh,
where she,
with
the lion
yeah, with
she
the
put her head
lion,
in the lion's
the
mouth?
lion. Yeah, yeah. So I guess that lion, like, because some of that stuff is shot like with a real lion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess at one point, like, it did hurt her, and so that's why they ended up having to do like all the CGI
Oh
really
yeah, like
badly.
the 30s
Was because
CGI.
she wouldn't get back into the because it was declawed and like defanged. It didn't have any teeth,
Oh right,
right? It was an
right.
old lion that they got, but I guess like it still ended up like harming her, like hurting her in some way. So she was terrified of it,
Did you ever see
and then
that
she had
movie?
like then she had to do like all the you know advertising for the movie with the lion. Like
Oh
she was
right.
traveling the country with the lion,
With
and
no
she's
teeth.
terrified of the lion that she's
Yeah,
got to like stand
that's
there next
funny.
to and just be like, oh my god, yeah. And
Did did
I've watched some of the like the reels from back then with her,
uh-huh.
and you cannot tell. Like she was such a performer,
Right,
like I mean she knew what her job was, and I always
right.
respect that, even if I don't like necessarily care for the actor. Like with not Faye Dunaway, who also is that way though. But like Joan Crawford, I don't like Joan Crawford as a human being,
I like
but
Joan.
you have to respect her in her films. She might have
Right.
been wasted. I believe she was drunk. I have no problem
Well, they
believing
didn't
that.
say they said she didn't start
But
drinking till she was older. Like
right, but
she was
she I
an
mean she
older
always knew her
alcoholic.
line. She always
Right.
knew what she was supposed to do. and she would do what she was supposed to do as long as she looked fabulous in her mind
Right.
doing it.
Well, I think she
Instead, she
did
just looked
back then.
crazy.
A lot of those
Oh, when she
women
was
were looked
young,
great.
she was beautiful,
She was.
stunning.
She
Like,
was.
but when she got all weird, like doing the shoulder pads, it's like that's just
Right.
you look psychotic. You don't
Right.
look lovely.
Like in
You look
Straight
crazy.
Jacket and
Yeah.
all
Oh
those.
yeah. Oh my gosh. That's an amazingly terrible movie.
It
And I
is.
love that too. I think that was great. Like older actresses like in the 60s getting into like the horror
Horror
movie
movies.
thing. It was awesome.
It
Like just so
was.
awesome. Just to watch these like actors who'd always like you'd always hear about them like being scene shredders.
Yeah.
So in the 60s they were like, we're just gonna put them in movies where they get to shred the scenes.
Well,
Just
it's
let
because
them
they
go.
couldn't
Let
get
them go.
jobs. They couldn't get
Yeah,
jobs and
yeah.
everything else. It's kind of sad in a way that they had to work. Like now, I don't now they didn't have whole
Hmm.
conventions for them to go to. Like
Right,
now, you
yeah.
have conventions they could go to make money. Like now, they have to be in all, or they had to be all those shitty movies. But nowadays, they don't even really make those kinds of shitty movies. They're like straight to Amazon
Mm,
Prime or straight to
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like
Well,
all
and they
those
still,
USA
and
Up
it's
All
still,
Night
it's
type
not.
movies don't really exist anymore.
Well, yeah, and CGI is so cheap to do.
It
Like you don't
is.
have directors like Sam Raimi. Like when Sam Raimi got started, and he made the horrible Evil Dead movies that are
Yeah,
terrible,
they
but
are
they're
terrible.
wonderful at the same time.
Right.
And like the practical effects that they were doing, like having to make blood spurt out of somebody like waterfalls of blood and like
Right.
using green because if they used red they would have not been able, they would have got an R, they would have got like an X rating, right? So
Right.
it's great stuff that they had to do because they didn't have any money, they had no
Right.
budget. Whereas now, because CGI is so cheap, you just don't have that kind of people putting those kind of things, like you don't have trauma, you
Right.
don't
Oh, we
have that
watched a
kind of like
trauma film last night.
production.
Have you ever
I
seen
love
did you ever
trauma.
watch Getting Lucky with Me about the kid that finds a leprechaun in a beer
Yes,
bottle?
yes.
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Was Alexis Arquette in that movie?
No, nobody
Okay,
with any that
nobody.
was in
Hmm.
anything else.
Huh.
It was on USA Up All Night the first time I ever saw it, but it's on Amazon
Right.
Prime,
Yeah.
and we watched it last night. But Troma bought it. It wasn't originally
Oh,
Troma, but
okay.
they
Yeah.
purchased it. But that would not even get
Yeah.
made today. Like
No, no.
maybe
There was a
some kid.
trauma movie I saw, came out in the 90s, and it had Will Wheaton in it, and it was called Fag Hag.
Oh, I've seen
Have
that.
you seen that?
I
Isn't
think
it
I've seen
awful?
it. It was
It's
awful. Maybe you
so
showed that to
bad.
me.
I might have. I might have because I used to have it on DVD. But yeah, it's such a bad movie.
See, and he's
I
kind of
love
an
that
ass
movie.
too. I used to
Oh, he's
like
a
Will
complete
Wheaton, but he
ass.
just seems like a creep. Like I read his book
Yeah.
and I didn't really like him after I read it. And usually if you read a book about someone and you don't like them when the book's over, it's just like, eh.
Yeah.
Kathleen
Yeah.
Turner
Like
was like
Tracy
that too.
Lords.
Yeah,
I was
hers
so
just came off
disappointed
as like
after
she
reading
was
that
a fucked
book.
up liar. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. She didn't even bother to try to lie well. Like she just
no.
made shit up. And then, anybody who got interviewed about it, like Ricky Lake was the only one who was like, no, no, she must have just been confused.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right, because
Ricky,
Ricky
what?
Lake is
Huh? Yeah,
because Ricky
exactly.
Lake is classy. You never
Hmm.
see her anymore either. She lost all that weight and looked real good the last time I saw her.
Yeah,
But
I
that
really
was
like
maybe
Ricky
like
Lake.
10 years ago though
I
that I
always thought
remember.
she was like the most down to earth person. Like even when she had that terrible show
Oh, I
and she
liked
was
her
like,
show.
"Oh no, girl." That show, can you imagine if
Yeah.
that show, that was another one like Pee Wee Herman. Can you imagine Ricky Lake trying to make that show now? And
Oh
she'd be like,
no.
"Oh no, girl, he didn't." And they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
cultural appropriation. Shut it
Yeah.
down. Shut it
Yep.
down."
Yep.
Like men, like her show titles too were like, "All men are dogs and women
Yeah.
are kittens." And like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And they
You're
would
destroying the
they
country.
take her on
Like we
like
didn't know back then.
they take her on like they do with Sally, and they'd have these
Hmm.
makeovers and they'd make them look just like Ricky Lake or just like Sally
Right? Yeah,
Jessy.
yeah. They always made them
I
classy
always liked
with like.
Sally too. Everybody's like,
Sally was
"She's a
good.
bitch," and it's like, yeah, because those kids were
Yeah.
evil. You have those asshole
Yes.
kids on there. I'd be a bitch too, just
Yeah.
like
Now you have
Judge
like
Judy.
Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, the king of cuck.
Yeah, I never watched
Dr. Phil
him.
and Ted Danson. Ted Danson's a
Oh
bigger
God,
cuck.
Ted
He's like the
Danson's a
biggest
tart.
cuck. But Dr. Phil, who has just destroyed the testosterone of the American male, like he just cucked us all, you know.
Yeah, I never watch
Every
him.
time
Who's the other
some
one? There's another doctor. What's the other one?
Oz, Dr. Oz,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
never watch any of those.
I never watched Dr. Oz. I mean, my sister did. She used to record it. She loved it.
Really?
But I tried to watch it a couple times because it came on just before, oh, what's her name? The one who does America's Next Top Model.
Oh, Tyra Banks?
Yeah, Tyra Banks talk show. I used to watch that all the
Yeah, I
time.
remember her show. I never really watched it.
Yeah, it was like a flashback to like the 90s kind of talk
Uh-huh.
show. Like she would have all these people on who were just insane.
Right, right,
And
like
then of course like
Jerry.
Tyra Banks, yeah, exactly. And like Tyra Banks, who's the craziest of them all, as the ringleader, she's
Yeah.
just in there like, oh no, he didn't, girl. Mm-mm.
She
Like
sounded like a bitch
Tyra,
too.
like yeah, oh yeah,
Janice
she's a total
Dickinson, you know who
bitch.
she is, don't
Uh huh.
you? The
Oh, I
crazy
love Janice.
supermodel. I do
I
too.
love Janice.
I
I
read
don't
all
like
of her
her,
books.
but I love her.
Right.
She's
Yeah,
a
I know
lot
what you
of
mean.
fun.
She sent me an
And she's a
autograph.
Republican. And
Oh,
she's a
she is? I
Republican.
didn't know that. I
Mm-hmm.
knew she met
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan back in the 80s and
Mm-hmm.
she talked about dancing with him or whatever.
Yeah, no, she's
Um,
uber Republican.
oh, see, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't have a photo of her and I didn't have a printer. So I just wrote her a
Oh.
letter. So she took like this big piece of note paper and like wrote, thank you, whatever, like in big cursive
Oh.
handwriting. So I've got it like laminated,
Oh.
but
You have
I
to
didn't know.
show me that.
I didn't
I
know
want
who
to
she
see.
was until
Oh,
there was some
really?
VH1 show that I was watching and she hosted it. And
Surreal? Oh, okay.
I'm the
Yeah.
world's first supermodel. I'm like, I don't even know who the hell you are. I
Who
thought
are
Cindy
you? Yeah.
Crawford or somebody or
Uh-huh.
Christy
Yep.
Brinkley was the first supermodel.
I would have thought
And
like
saw
Gia
pictures
is
and
who I would have thought.
she was gorgeous. And I'm just like, what
Oh,
happened to her? She
stunning.
looks
Yeah.
terrible now.
Same thing that
She,
happened to Goldie Hawn.
yeah,
She let them rebuild her
yeah. There
as
was nothing
somebody
wrong with
else. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with her before. She
no,
was absolutely beautiful. Like, and it's just that. Like, she doesn't look at all the same.
no. You wouldn't even
She doesn't look the
recognize her.
same. Yeah, no, I would never. Like, no, not a bit. I don't. But she was. I mean, but she's fun. She's a lot of
She is
fun.
fun,
She
but
did that. She did that show, Surreal Life,
yeah, I remember her on that.
and with her and Omarosa. Oh my
Yeah, she didn't
Oh my
make it
gosh, I
through the whole
loved
thing. She
that.
had to go
Yeah.
home. She's like
Uh-huh.
high drama.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah,
she'd
both of
be
them
hard to
are.
hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
But did you read any of her books?
Mm-mm.
She's got books.
No,
You
I
should
did
read
too. I
them.
did too. I read one of them. Tanya had it, and I read part of it. But yeah,
Yeah, well,
I
she
didn't.
talks about Tyra Banks in one of her books, and she just can't stand her. And she talked about how she's
No.
overrated, not that pretty. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of agree with her. I think she's kind of
Yeah.
overrated too.
It's the green eyes.
Hmm.
Like
Are
when she
those
was
even
young.
real
And
or are those
see,
contacts?
no, those are her. Yeah, they claim that they're her real eyes. And I mean, every picture I've ever seen of her, she had the same green eyes. I mean, her dad's white.
Oh, he is. Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
light
yeah.
skinned.
Yeah, she's half white. And I mean, I think she's pretty.
She
And
is, but
certainly when
she's
she was younger, she was very pretty.
right.
It's just that I don't, but
She's not
when you
Janice.
compare her, no, no, but well, no, and like when I look, like I remember when she blew up was about the same time that the one that David Bowie was married to,
Oh,
Iman,
yeah.
the same time that Iman blew up. And I personally think Iman is pretty much perfect. Like if Grace Jones was pretty, she would be Iman, right?
Yeah, Iman, I don't know. I'd have to see a picture of when she's young. I don't think she looks all that
Yeah.
great now, but she's old
Well,
now. I'd
she
have
was
to
in that
see her in her
terrible. Did you
prime.
see that terrible movie based on the Anne Rice book?
Oh, Queen of the Damned?
No, no, no. The one with
Feast of All
Rosie
Saints?
O'Donnell. The one. It was one of
Oh,
the dirty
Exit to
books. It was
Eden.
one of the dirty.
Exit
Yes.
to Eden. No, I never saw it. I read the
Oh,
book.
Sasha, you have to see it. Lou. Fuck. I'm sorry. Can you edit that?
I
Nothing.
don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Shit. Anyway, you have to see the movie. You have to. It's so bad. Rosie O'Donnell running around like a BDSM island.
Yeah, I read the book. I don't know
Hmm.
why they got Rosie O'Donnell to play that part because the
Because
woman
they
in the
turned
book,
it into a comedy
right? The woman in
for
the book's
whatever
supposed to be
reason.
gorgeous. Did you read the
Yeah.
book?
No, I did back then. I remember you loaned it to me back then,
I didn't
and I
read it
read
till I
it.
was an
Yeah.
adult. You must have got it from
Oh,
someone
okay.
else.
Maybe it was the Yoga Queen.
Yeah, probably
Maybe she
was.
did.
Because I
Yeah.
didn't even read
Yeah.
those Sleeping Beauty books till we were out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
Mm.
had those and gave them to me. I'd only
Oh,
read like the first couple vampire books in high school.
I thought you went home for the summer. Or you went up to.
No, I didn't read those.
Oh, I could have sworn you gave me my first one.
Maybe I
Maybe
did, but
not
it was
though.
later. We weren't in
Yeah.
high school.
Huh. I thought we were in high school.
And then I got a
I
copy of
know.
Belinda somewhere, and I gave a friend that when I got done reading
Hmm.
that. And it's kind of like
Yeah.
Lolita, from what I remember. I don't
Yeah.
know what happened
Yeah.
to Anne Rice. I used to like her stuff, and I can't stomach her stuff. I just read The Feast of All Saints a few months ago, and that was really good. But that was one of her
Hmm.
first books. It might have been her first book or
Yeah.
second
No,
book
I've never. Yeah, I've never
about the
gone and watched her, or I haven't gone back and read her since she came out with that. Her son came out with that book of gay poetry
Oh yeah.
that was really terrible.
I don't
Really
know
terrible.
why people think their kids and their spouses should be able to write just
Well,
because they do.
no,
Like Stephen King's wife.
like she became uber Catholic,
Right.
and she wrote that like the books about Jesus
Right.
that
I
are
read tried to read those.
disgusting.
I read the
They're
first one. I thought they were
disgusting.
slow. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no,
I just didn't think they were that
they're
good.
horrible. They're horrible. They're all about trying to do nothing but like drag down Christ. I mean, they're just horrible. But she became uber Catholic again and then disavowed her son, like disowned him.
Oh, see, I didn't know she did that.
Yeah, and that's when I was like, okay, you're just a shit human being. Because I mean, I don't, if your kid's gay and stuff, I'm sorry, it sucks, but you don't disown them.
Right. See, I didn't know she
You
did
can try to
that.
help them. You can try to do, if you don't agree with the lifestyle, try to help them. And I always found it so weird because she wrote like the best gay sex I'd ever read.
She did.
I mean, it was like filthy. Yeah, it was like way too intense and realistic. And then when her little boy grows up and he's like, "Yeah, that stuff you wrote about made me hot." She's like, "Well, I disown you."
That's messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I mean, maybe it's more because he's a terrible writer.
Yeah,
But either
maybe.
way,
Stephen
yeah.
King's sons, they write, and they're pretty good, or at least one of them's pretty good. I read one of his books, but
Hmm.
his wife wrote some book. And that store that we used to go in when we were kids, they had a copy of his wife's book, and I was gonna buy it, and the
Yeah.
woman was like, "Don't get it, it's crap," because it was like
Yeah.
used. She goes, "It's garbage." Just
Yeah.
because Stephen
Don't do
King can
it.
write doesn't mean his
Uh-huh.
wife can. And I've heard the same
Hmm.
thing about Anne Rice, because didn't her husband write too?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and people, he
Yeah.
wrote like a
Stan
lot of the,
writes.
yeah, Stan,
Yeah.
and he wrote a bunch of the shit
Hmm.
that would be in the intros of bad poetry, also, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wrote the bad poetry from her books and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Just terrible. I don't know. Like she's like VC Andrews if like she didn't die.
Right,
Like,
right,
like
right,
she
yeah.
just completely like she just phones it in,
Like,
you
she wrote
know.
great stuff, like, the original, like,
Hmm.
the first 3, even the 4th vampire book, those were great, and I
Yeah.
really liked, Cry to Heaven was good, the one about the eunuchs,
I love Cry to Heaven. That
that
was an
was good.
amazing book.
Feast You should read Feast of
Amazing.
All Saints, about the mixed kids, growing up in, New Orleans, like, before the
Yeah.
slaves. It's really good too,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know what happened to her though. I tried to read that last book well, it's been a few years now. I think she's had more books come out since. Lestat had a kid, and it's like, oh
Right.
come
Well,
on, like, and it
no, they
wasn't even
started going
interesting.
downhill. They started going downhill back then when she was writing a book about every single character she'd ever mentioned.
Some of them weren't
And like
terrible.
some of
I
them
ex
weren't
The
terrible.
one
Some of
about
them were
Was it
interesting.
Marius? I
Marius
liked
was
that
good.
one. The
Marius, but
Black
like Knock
Eagle.
Knock the Devil was terrible.
Oh, Memnoch the Devil.
Terrible. Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
so
didn't like that
bad.
either. Where Lestat
So
went up to
bad.
heaven or whatever. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
garbage.
It was like, why are you rewriting like it? Because it was just like she had rewritten oh, the book, the poetry, where he goes through like the 7 levels of hell and the seven
Oh,
levels of
Dante.
heaven. Dante's Inferno. It's like she
Yeah,
just rewritten Dante's Inferno, but with Lestat as a
yeah,
dirty old man. And I was just
yeah,
like, I don't know. And I never really cared for Lestat as a character.
yeah. He's kind of
He
a
was
douchebag.
he was yeah, he was cool as far as like interacting with other people. And I did enjoy Queen of the Damned. I
Oh, I
did
did
enjoy the
too.
Queen of the
I
Damned.
liked Lestat a lot. His book, like, where his story, like, even though he wasn't that
Hmm.
likable, he had a cool
No, but
story.
it made him, and she really did a good job of like explaining why he was the character he was. So you kind of did get some empathy for him. You're
Right.
right. Yeah, that Lestat was good, but then like Louis. Didn't she do one that was Louis?
No,
Who
he
I
didn't get one.
really okay,
Mm-mm.
good, because he was
She
really
did
dull.
Armand, and that one
Uh-huh.
sucked. And you would have thought that
Yeah,
would have been a good one because of his
because
character, but it
Armand was like
wasn't
one.
good.
Speaking of which, the movie, the casting of what's his name,
He was
Antonio
way too
Banderas.
old.
He was
He's
not
supposed to be,
right. He
no,
was
he's supposed to
just
be like
not
13
right.
or something in the books, which I
Yes,
know they're
and I
not going
mean,
to
yeah. Well,
do,
no,
but it's
yeah, they're
somebody
not going to
that's
make
not
him.
30, you know?
Yeah, but no, well, just somebody who, I mean, he was supposed to be like blonde haired, and he was supposed to be like this angelic looking character,
Right,
and then here's Antonio Banderas, all super
right.
macho, and it's like any like Alexis Arquette should have played. But, Armand, that would have been much better casting.
Yeah, if he
But
could
I just,
act.
yeah, if he could act, that's true. If any of the Arquettes could act, wow,
Patricia's
there'd be
okay.
there'd be better
Rosanna's
Arquette
okay.
movies.
She was good
Rosanna's
in that.
okay.
She was
She's
good in After
surprisingly
Hours.
okay. I thought she was good in the Crash
Oh yeah, that
for
was an
what there
awful
was to
movie
do
though.
with it. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
terrible movie. It's
she was
just
good in Pulp
porn.
Fiction too. Not that it was hard
Yeah,
to play like
yeah,
some bitch with
right,
her face up your stuff,
right.
but
She was just ate up meth head, which any
right.
Arquette could have pulled off. Um,
She's
and
another one that doesn't seem
Patricia,
like a very nice person though.
no, no, none of the Arquettes seem like very nice people, really. I think that's why Courtney Cox, who I think is a nice person, she's just nuts.
Yeah, I don't know much about her.
Hmm. I think like she like ugh, I don't know.
She was
I
pretty
don't
when she
like
was
Courtney
young, but
Cox.
I didn't
Yeah,
like I
she was
don't like her in
cute.
most like she played Alex's girlfriend on Family Ties and she was so annoying.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about that.
They had to go to therapy,
Wow.
like she had him go to some therapy group. It's a funny
Uh huh.
episode. And Alex
Yeah.
is all
Huh.
against, doesn't believe in therapy and all this, so he reads like books about what he should say. And
Oh,
there, and he's
nice.
like, I'm gonna find out what they want me to say, and I'm gonna memorize it.
Yeah.
Like,
Alex
and
P. Keaton was such a troll.
you should watch those again now
I
that you're
know. I know.
conservative, because
I
I
need
liked them
to.
even when I
Yeah.
wasn't. I loved
Yeah,
that
I think I'll
show.
enjoy them a lot more. You always did like Alex P. Keaton, and that was one of the things that I hated about the show when I was like
Oh,
a
hold
kid.
on
I
a
never really
second.
cared for the show. Okay.
You keep talking. Rock's calling my real
Oh,
phone.
okay. Oh my goodness, it's about time. Um, yeah, I never
Hello?
really did care much for
Hey, what's up?
um that show growing up because he was conservative.
Oh, well, we're on there right now if you want to join.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll see you. You see your invite's been sent. All right, bye. He forgot. Sounded like he was
Uh-huh.
sleeping, so he's gonna jump on.
Oh, okay. Right. Wow, we've been going for a while too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's kind of
Right
catch
on.
up since, because like I said, it's hot. I don't want to have to drive, or I would probably
Yeah.
come to visit you. That's what I told
Are
my
you
dad.
going
He wanted me to come, and I was like,
are you
it's too
going
damn
up to see
hot.
him for Father's Day?
No, like I'm going
No?
on
Okay.
Sulphur Day. Like
Right.
that,
No, I
because
know. I know we're going to Sulphur
Rock's
Day. I
gonna
just didn't
drive.
know. Oh,
Rock's
okay.
gonna
I just
drive.
didn't know if you were planning to go up and see him for Father's Day or not. Just curious.
Nope. I need to save
Okay.
gas money too, because
Yeah,
I'm only
no,
working part
definitely.
time now.
Yeah. I get it. Boo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba.
It's kind of
Boo-ba-doo-ba.
nice just staying home. It's so hot.
Isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
We get
I do enjoy getting out in the heat. I like the heat, but I can understand you sunburn.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't really get a tan. So,
I've got darker,
yeah, yeah.
but it's not worth
You
it.
got to be careful still though, don't
Yeah.
you?
And skin
Yeah.
cancer runs in the family, so I don't really
Oh,
think
that's
it's worth
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's not a good idea. Yeah,
But
my
yeah, I
dad
don't
had
like.
the skin cancer
Oh, he
a
did.
little bit. Yeah, just on his nose.
Oh,
Like
because he's
they were able to
outside
just
and
shave it off. Yeah, but yeah, I
yeah.
mean that's for a lifetime of a man who never put on a single ounce of SPF, and you know how dark like he didn't even fade in the winter. Like he
Right.
was brown all the time.
Right.
So yeah, I mean I'm not too. I
All
mean it is a
right.
concern, but what are you gonna do?
There he is.
I.
Where you at,
Hi,
Yeah.
lazy?
what's up, dude? Are
Sleeping?
Oh,
you
sorry about
sleeping?
that.
Uh
No,
huh. Well,
You
we've
just
covered the
forgot?
gamut.
I just didn't even know. Didn't notice. I didn't see any kind of request or anything. We should set up like a call time so we have like a pre-show
Yeah,
set up.
I thought we did at 4:30.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
So what have you guys been talking about?
TV.
Yeah. We've been talking about Alex P. Keaton.
Yep.
Uh,
I told Max he should go back and watch those because he hasn't seen them. He
Not
never
since
liked
I.
Family Ties before. Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of Family Ties, did you hear somebody sent me a message today that they're making Back to the Future Part 4? And I'm like, "Oh, come
No,
on."
I think
And
that's a troll. I don't think that's true. I think it's a joke.
I hope it's a joke.
Yeah, or
I
maybe
don't
it's not
know.
a joke. Maybe just
I
like
don't
the
think.
preview that I saw was a joke. Maybe they're really making it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I could
A,
They
see
should
them
get Will
making it
Smith.
a
actually.
legitimate source told me they were making it,
Okay. Well, then I believe you.
and he
I thought
said
it was
they're
a
all going to
joke.
be in it, and I guess he thought I was going to be excited about it, and it was the exact
Mm-hmm.
opposite, where I said this is fucking
Mm-hmm.
stupid. Have they made
Yep.
any
Yeah.
good sequels 30 years
No.
later? No.
No. Not a
Carrie
single
2,
one.
garbage. Indiana Jones, garbage. I mean, I can't think of any
Yeah.
more, but I'm sure that they're there, and Star Wars. They're not sequels, but they're still making that crap, and it sucks.
Garbage.
Yeah, it's just absolute crap.
Garbage. I don't know of any movies coming out anymore that haven't been. I really wanted
Yeah,
to
I
go
don't
see
either.
Chappaquiddick.
Yeah, that's the last movie we saw, and I liked
Was
that.
it? What'd you think? Was it good?
I thought it was
I
fine.
wanted to see it. Yeah, I was disappointed because it wasn't in the theater for hardly any time at
No,
all.
it wasn't.
And from what I understood, it did really well.
Yeah,
But
the
I'm sure,
actors were
like,
really good in it and everything.
yeah, the left isn't going to be like, hey, let's have a negative Kennedy movie.
Well, I'm surprised it even got made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am too. I was actually pretty surprised when I saw that it got made, and I still want to see it. I just haven't. I
I'm
don't even
sure it'll
know if
be
it's come
out
out on
pretty
video
soon.
yet.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take long.
No.
But that's like been one of the last movies I've had any interest in going to see.
There was a horror movie I wanted to see, but it's gone already, called The Quiet Place. I
Uh
hadn't
huh.
seen a preview for it, but everybody that told me that it looked cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, there
Yeah.
hasn't been, other than cartoons, and there hasn't even been any good Pixar movies this summer that I know of. What,
Oh,
Incredibles 2? Is that what it's out
what is it?
now? Incredibles 2? Is
Oh
that the
yeah.
Pixar movie that we get this
And
summer?
Probably it's going to be
didn't that
terrible.
already come
It's
out?
going to
I
be.
thought Incredibles
Is
2
it?
already came out.
Was it
Mhm.
Incredibles 3 then?
Maybe. I know. I think Toy Story 4 is supposed to come out.
Oh, see, I'll go see that. I liked all the Toy Story movies.
It's going to be all social justicey.
I hope not. You never saw
I
Inside Out.
know.
You should watch that. I didn't think
No,
that
I
was
haven't seen
social
Inside Out.
justicey. It
Yeah,
was
I
I'm
really
heard it
sure
was
it
good.
pretty
is.
good.
I'm sure that it was. It just we'd have to watch it again to look for it.
Yeah.
A lot, a
Yeah,
lot of
I'm a
times
Nazi.
it's
I
very
notice all the
subtle.
social justice
A
garbage.
lot of times that
I'll be
stuff
like,
is subtle, and when it's subtle,
yeah,
it's not as bad.
Right.
I don't know.
It's
Didn't you
not forced
enjoy,
on you, and everybody likes it.
yeah, didn't you think that, didn't you say you didn't notice that the Rabbit movie, the Rabbit Cop movie?
Yeah, I did. I
Oh,
mean, you could
Zootopia.
see.
Yeah, didn't you say you liked it,
Oh,
and you
oh
didn't?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah, I like it. But you can still, yeah, there's
You
still
could
some stuff,
tell.
really?
Like the
but it
whole thing
wasn't
about the
forced.
fox and him
Yeah.
being like a predator, and they were mean to
Mm-hmm.
him, and you're not
Yeah,
supposed to
I
be
Yeah,
mean
didn't.
to people even if they could potentially be
Even if they
predators.
eat, if there's a chance they're going to eat you.
Right,
it wasn't like
right.
I thought they did it. They did that fairly well. It wasn't shoved down your
See,
throat like.
I didn't think they did it well at all. I didn't notice anything but like how hard they were trying to be like, look, gay people should be accepted too.
Oh,
Like
you
you
thought
should
it was
let,
gay people? I
yeah.
thought it was like black people or
Well, I
something.
mean, just yeah, just anything. Like all of it. Like, hey, trans people should be allowed to be in races with girls.
I just thought it was cute, all the like the little hamster world, and I
Mm.
like the world that it was in.
The
And
hamster world was cute.
I liked the
Yeah,
DMV scene. I thought that was funny.
yeah.
And
I
the
didn't.
polar
I
bear.
don't know.
Oh,
I couldn't focus. I couldn't think about anything but the social justice of it all.
Yeah, I guess that was before I got into politics when I watched it, so it didn't
Right.
really bother me.
Right. Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
All right.
All right.
But yeah, watch Inside Out. I don't think it's not like I don't it's more like about a kid growing up and her emotions are all
Right.
out of whack, and it's cute. It's sad. It's kind of sad, but
That's what
it's
I
good. I
heard.
think it
Yeah.
was
I've
better
heard
than
great things about
that.
it. Yeah.
I haven't seen Coco yet. I need to watch that. It's
Coco.
supposed to be good. Yeah, about the little Mexican kid that plays the guitar.
Uh huh.
That was a Pixar
Okay.
movie that out, I think, last year, maybe last Christmas. It was like the only one I didn't go see in theaters. Usually we go see them in theaters. I don't
Yeah.
go to the
Huh.
movies anymore.
Yeah,
Like, it's
me
weird.
either.
We used to go like once a week, and now we never go. And tickets are
Yeah.
expensive. Like you said, there
Yeah.
hasn't even been anything good playing. Might as well stay
Right.
home.
But like, why am I going to pay $10 to see a movie I can wait and see on for $1.50?
Right.
3 weeks from now.
I do wish I'd gone to see Sunset Boulevard now, though. Like, I was telling my dad about it. He'd
Yeah, I
never seen it
know.
because we were talking about
Really?
Gloria Swanson because we were talking about the Kennedys.
Uh
Because we were
huh.
talking about Chappaquiddick. Like, we had that pretty much the
Right.
exact same conversation, but
Huh.
we were talking about the dad, and I said, yeah, he had an affair with Gloria Swanson. And my dad's like, she was always on the Beverly Hillbillies, or they were always talking about her on the Beverly Hillbillies,
Yeah.
which I didn't
Yeah.
know. And I was talking about
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. I love Sunset
Me
Boulevard.
too.
As I've
Great
never seen it.
movie.
Yes, you have.
You
I made you watch it.
Oh,
The
I
one
must have
about
forgot it.
where the woman, the silent film actress, lives up in the mansion, and that guy's car breaks down, and he lives with her. He's basically a gigolo,
mm-hmm.
and she shoots
Oh,
him, and I
she's
read
like an
for my
old washed
cousin.
up movie star.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
That
it's
would be
got
the one.
that old actor Eric von Stroheim was in it, and he played her like
Mm-hmm.
helper. I love his movies too. Have you ever watched any of his movies? The
I
studio
have.
He did that movie with May. Oh, what was her name? She was an older woman that acted like she was real young. She was big in silent movies, but I can't think of her name. But there was one where she was like the gay divorcee, I think was what it was called, or the Merry
Oh
Widow,
yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. And then he did one where he
Yeah.
played like the sergeant guy that was ripping off people. His movies were always really long, and the
Uh-huh.
studio didn't like him because he went over budget. He did that movie Greed, it's from that book
Oh
McTeague, which I
yeah.
read McTeague, and that was a
Yeah.
fucked up book. Like, even Stephen
Yeah.
King recommended that in his little biography I don't know what
Oh.
call it. It's
I've
called
never read
Dan's
McTeague.
Macabre. But yeah, you
Yeah.
should read it. It's really screwed up.
Okay.
But
Oh.
they made a movie
Yeah.
and it was like 9 hours long, silent film, and they cut it down to 4 hours. I've got
Oh.
a copy of it. I haven't watched it, but he
Who's in
directed
that?
it.
Was
I'm
Greta
not sure.
Garbo in that?
No,
Hmm.
Huh. No, she was in Sex.
Love.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Love, maybe.
same thing.
There was one that was called Sex. And I think it might I don't remember. I think it huh. There's been I do like Turner Classic Movies a few years ago did this like silent German film festival kind of thing,
Uh
right?
huh.
Where they went and showed like a bunch of these old German films, and that's when I saw what's her name, like the Leni Riefenstahl movies about Hitler and stuff too. Um, but there was something that Greta Garbo was in, and I thought it was Greed, but they showed Greed at one point too. And then I think they had like they showed like the unedited version, like the director's cut, and
Hmm.
it was like 7 hours long or something. Like who wanted to go sit through a 7 hour silent film?
I have no idea. Well, he did it.
Yeah.
Supposedly, his movies,
Well, I probably had music playing back in the
well,
old days.
they did, but
Well, yeah,
his,
no, I understand. Yeah, and I mean they always release them like that and stuff, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just can't imagine sitting through a 7 hour movie.
no, you'd have to have the whole day. That'd be like your whole
Yeah,
day, pretty much.
yeah. Like, but I mean, that's just. I mean, I guess when I was younger, it would have been different. I could sit there and watch. I would have loved a 7 hour movie, whereas now I don't have time. I can't even watch like series anymore. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer has been my favorite thing for as long as I can remember, and I can't even watch an episode of Buffy anymore. I just can't sit through anything that isn't like a documentary or in some way like telling me something that is actual. And like even movies based on a true story don't do me any good.
See,
I don't, I
still
can't do it.
watch stuff.
Yeah,
I just
I
binge
know.
watch Garfield and Friends.
Yeah, yeah. I can't. I mean, I've been doing the Mamas Family.
Oh, that's
I
good.
just put them on. I put them on for background because I've seen them all.
Right.
So I can just put them on in the background, and every now and again I have to run back to the screen to watch a part. But usually I just like put them on when I'm cleaning house or something,
Yeah,
which is
I
good
do
for me
too. It
because I
is.
clean house. I've
Because
always
Mama
liked
was
cleaning
always
house for
cleaning.
Mama's Family. Yeah, yeah, it's the best house cleaning movie or television show ever.
It was.
I know, baby. I know. You want some attention. You want all the attention. You do.
Yeah, I wish we could have Turner Classic Movies. Why can't you buy a subscription to that like you can Netflix and
Right?
everything
Yeah.
else?
Yeah.
You can HBO,
Yeah.
Cinemax, Stars, like anything.
And
Why can't we
too,
buy
Well,
like
that?
it's part of the
Netflix.
cable system, the way the cable's
Yeah.
set up. That'll
Yeah.
allow that. Like I think in
Yeah.
Canada, you can buy channels a la carte. So if you just want, let's say you just
Nice.
want a Cartoon Network, that's what you can
Mm-hmm.
buy. Or if
That's
you
cool.
don't want ESPN, the ESPN channels or the sports channels, you don't have to get those if you don't want.
That's what most of them are anymore. Like every
Or if you
package
just
you get
want,
cable, you have to have like 700 ESPNs, and then you get like 3 other
yeah.
channels.
What's it? And that's
Yeah.
it's
Like
weird because
CNN, you get like CNN and like MSNBC.
yeah. Well, those channels don't make the cable companies money.
Yeah, no.
It's like why even have them on there if no one
Mhm.
wants to watch them. They're like if
Yeah.
there's a big game, I'm sure they'd have an audience, but on a daily basis, there aren't a whole lot of people that would be interested in that. And the ones that would, they would pay just to have those channels. They don't want to watch the other stuff. And so just
Yeah.
let the people that want to have the ESPN channels, let them buy those separately and
I
let
don't know.
them
I think
fail. Because
ESPN and
they
those
won't have enough.
channels used to make them money.
Yeah, I
They
think
used
so.
to
Yeah.
make them all
A
the
lot of people
money.
like sports.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing is,
Just
people
Yeah.
like sports. They don't want political
Well,
commentary.
no. Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Is like
right, right.
They want to watch
ESPN like
the game.
75 and all those used to make them money. But when they started turning it political, once like the Bruce Jenner thing started happening,
Right.
and they turned it all into and then all of a sudden everything, like every single thing on ESPN is about social justice in some way or another. Like we were up at a pizza place the other day, and they were showing like the KKK, and I was like, what does this have to do with basketball?
Well,
I know.
I,
It's
I
like
just like I don't like what is what like why is the
the only thing I can think
KKK?
of, the only thing I can think of is that they would hate basketball now because it's everything
Uh-huh.
that they don't like.
Well, I don't see why. I don't think so. I think KKK members, if they like basketball, they watch basketball. Like, I don't think
No,
they
I-
like. I don't.
Well, right. If
I
anything, I
don't
think
think that
sports have helped get rid of racism in a lot of ways.
exactly
Like,
because there was
Yeah.
you like
because they didn't politicize it. They didn't make it about like people were like, I don't care. The boy can play. Let him play. Right?
exactly.
I mean,
People
like
don't want.
that's
It's like if
why
you're
we were able.
especially
Part of the
yeah,
reason
especially
integration of
like-
anything happened was because they were like, well, shit, it makes sports better. So go for
Yeah.
it.
Right, but if you're
But they didn't
if you're an
need it
athlete,
shoved
you don't want to
down their
compete
throat.
against mediocre people. You want to compete against the best of the
Right,
best.
exactly. So
And
let him play.
if they're black
And
or
if he
Asian,
can beat
it
me,
doesn't
put him on the
matter.
team. Yes, but and that's exactly how it should. That's how all of it should work. And it
Right.
shouldn't be about like social justice. It shouldn't be like of course there are going to be like 10 KKK guys out there who are like, we don't want blacks in sports, and nobody's going to pay any attention to them because the
Right.
game is better. Right. I mean,
Right.
but nowadays they make it about the 10 guys who disapprove. And they're like, look, this is how all white people are.
Oh,
Right.
It's like,
what do
wait,
you think
you
about
were
that?
selling out stadiums 2 months ago when people were just playing the game. But now that you're attacking white people, no, they don't want to come.
Right.
What do you guys think about
It
Trump
has
giving
nothing
out
to do with the black people playing the game. It has everything to do with ESPN attacking white people.
So what do you think about Trump telling all the NFL players that are kneeling for the national anthem or staying in the locker room when it plays?
Mhm.
He's offering them any one of them if they want to, because they're doing that because the prison system is so unfair. Well, you can tell Trump now, especially if you're a big name person, you got some pull. You can contact the Trump administration, say this person's in prison unjustly. Let's look at the case and get him pardoned, or reduce the sentence, or get him out of prison if and they're
So
not.
we're going to
biting.
have to investigate every single black person who's in prison.
No, because they're not. That's the
Because
thing.
it didn't cost enough.
They don't like Donald
No,
Trump
because
so
they
much.
don't know anybody. Yeah, they don't know anybody who's in prison
Right.
unjustly.
But they don't like Donald Trump so much that even if they did, they're not gonna
yeah,
they're not gonna help that person out because there
good.
probably
I think
are
it's
people in there.
fantastic.
I bet there are. There's probably
I think point out the hypocrisy. Let them be hypocrites.
I bet there's a couple 100,000 people that are in prison unjustly. Because how many? We have more people in prison than any other country combined.
We have
So
a
we
lot of.
so
Oh,
we
then
have
every other country combined.
yes. So we have to have
That's
well we've
because
got
that's because we do things like have trials and we don't just kill them,
right. And
right?
so
I
they're
mean,
so they're
I'm sure that if Saudi Arabia started locking up gay people and anybody who disagreed with the Iraqi government, then they'd have much higher prison populations too. The problem is they don't keep them. They put them to death.
Right.
right. That's that's the
They
difference.
set
That's
their
why
daughters on. They set
that
their daughters
actually
on fire.
that's a good point.
It's easier not to have prisons if you set your daughters on fire for being sluts. I mean, like, I don't think that there's a lot of investigation into why
That
we
is a good
have,
point.
you
That's why
know.
we have so many people in prison because we don't kill
Mhm.
our prisoners
Yeah, it's because
as
people
often.
aren't
Oh, and yeah,
committing, not because like
it's even
people are just locking people up unjustly. And
yeah, even if
don't get
you're
me
in
wrong, there are
capital
people who are in
punishment,
prison unjustly. There are
takes
lots of
20
Right.
guys,
years.
like there are so many people getting out of prison for rape charges that absolutely should not be in prison because of the rape charges. And
Right.
50 years later, we can use DNA to prove that. And yes, you should be paid reparations when you get out of prison for unjust, if you can
Oh, I
show
definitely.
that there was
Yeah.
some reason why you never should have been suspected. I don't think we should just give you $8 million because you happened to be at the rape and didn't get any semen on her. You know,
Right.
No,
but
but I think
yeah,
they should. I think one thing they could do with prison reform, they need to go after the judges and the prosecutors that know of evidence that can prove the
exonerate
person's
people.
innocent.
Absolutely,
Right. If they
absolutely.
have evidence and they sit on it, and then they go ahead and prosecute them anyway, those people
Hmm.
should serve the
Yes,
same
and I mean,
sentence.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree, and I'm completely against
You're a
like the
prosecutor, you should
privatized
go to prison
prison
for 20
system.
years if you sentence
Yeah,
someone to 20 years unjustly.
well, and then we
Yeah.
have to take
Or
care of
maybe
both
more,
of
maybe longer. Maybe you should go for
them.
life. Because it's like when you're in a position of power like that, it's like just like what Spider-Man or Uncle Ben said, with great power comes a great responsibility. So, but
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
it's a I
Uncle
think it should
Ben.
be a great power
I thought you were
comes with
talking
an
about the
even
right.
greater responsibility.
I did too.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't
Uncle
know Uncle
Ben,
Ben was like
Spider-Man.
actually like a political figure.
Yeah, Uncle Ben is
Yeah,
Spider-Man's
no,
uncle, the
yeah.
one that died.
No, I get, yeah, it took me a minute though.
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
I did
I
too.
was
I was
like,
thinking
ding,
of the
like
rice
ding,
guy.
ding.
Yeah, the rice, Uncle Ben's rice.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. With great power comes great responsibility.
I think
100%.
it should be an even greater responsibility because if you're in a powerful position, if
Hmm.
you're in a position like that, your responsibility is more so than the average person. So your
Right. And bring
punishment
back the
should be
death
more.
penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring back the death penalty for rape.
Yeah, we've got DNA tests
No,
now,
no, nobody's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's like someone that so if you're convicted
hmm
unjustly and you're put to death, let's say you're put to death unjustly, the
hmm
prosecutors and the cops involved in that were aware of that, they should be put to death too.
okay. If you can
What
prove
if
beyond a
they decide
reasonable doubt,
right?
if you can
Well, if they
prove
have the
beyond a
evidence,
reasonable doubt,
if they have the
okay.
evidence if they have the evidence to prove you're innocent and they go ahead and prosecute you anyway
Yeah,
and
but it's
you're
hard.
put to
It's
death,
hard to
they
prove
didn't
beyond a reasonable doubt that somebody knew something they didn't bring forward, as opposed
well
to.
that's the
I mean,
thing. That's the thing.
I definitely think like the DNA evidence makes a big deal in proving
Right. So
rape.
if they had
And
evidence that someone else
you
raped
can't just be
somebody,
like he said, she said. I
Well,
don't
what
believe in
about
he
these
said,
women
she said,
that
and there's
lie?
semen in her
exactly.
vagina.
These
They
women
should
that
There's not
lie,
if
I
always,
think they
yeah,
should go to prison too.
well
You
there's a
find out
girl
they
yeah,
that's
made up
going to
something to
jail
get
for a
even,
year.
yeah.
to
Right
Put
now
get
her to
there's
even
someone
with
death.
a
that
boyfriend or something, and
Put
they
her
say
to
they
death
raped them.
too.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah
get
they
to
need
destroy people's lives.
Right.
You don't get to turn somebody
People
into a
do
capital
though.
punishment case.
People
No,
do,
no, yeah, yeah. Oh
and
yeah,
they
they
don't
do
get
it
in
all the
trouble.
time. Yeah, but
the
that's what I'm saying.
only bad part about that is
Make it
it's
capital
like people
punishment, and you're going to have a lot fewer cases. I mean, it will stop tomorrow.
Yeah.
The
well
ridiculous bullshit
also the
will stop
prosecutor
tomorrow.
if you're what if it's a false allegation or no, some of these feminists they wouldn't care. They would
Catch her
prosecute and lie
if
about
you
it
can
anyway.
prove that she's
So
lying.
well, that's the thing. If
She has raised a capital punishment argument against someone. So I'm sorry, but you tried to have them put to death. That makes you a
that's attempted
conspirator
murder.
to murder.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
see, that can be a capital punishment offense. I don't know why they ever stopped that either. Like, if you catch somebody planning a murder, like, why do you get to live? Like, we send you to jail for 150 years.
Well, that's
I don't
why
Why?
know.
Charles Manson went down because he didn't actually
Uh-huh.
murder anybody. He wasn't convicted of murdering anyone. It was
Right?
conspiracy to commit murder.
Yes. I still don't have any problem with him being put to death.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think he
I
was a
mean,
good
especially,
person.
they'd always be like, he was so good at like getting people to murder for him. Well, good. I mean, put him to death.
Right,
What? Like who would be against putting Hitler to death?
right,
Or Stalin. Well, everybody'd be against putting Stalin to death. They'd be
right.
like, oh no, he's Karl Marx. We should dig him up and put him to death. Like, let's hang him somewhere. Like, just every couple of years, we'll dig him back up and be like,
Have like
this is a bad
or just make
person.
an effigy of him and burn him
Yeah.
at the
No, no,
stake.
no, 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 no. I mean, if you guys want to kill some of his relatives, I don't know that he has any alive anymore, but like, just dig him up and like we'll like we can have them do the reconstruction thing where they put him to, like, they do clay on his
Yeah.
skull and everything. Like, and they'll put his boils and all that nasty shit because the man never took a bath.
Right.
Did you know that? Like, what a
No.
disgusting, gross person he was. Like,
I
he
didn't
Well, a
know
lot of
much
people
didn't
about
back
him.
then,
bathe.
a
He
lot of
didn't
people they didn't
bathe.
believe in bathing back then.
Yeah,
A lot,
he
a
didn't
lot of
like.
the, a lot
He
of the
never had a
Europeans didn't.
job.
Well, a lot of them like wash their fingertips instead of their whole hand, like
That's nice.
and that's why diseases spread.
They had to spare
Mm-hmm.
the clean water. They had to spare the drinking water because what are you gonna do? Use filthy water to clean yourself with? No, you got to use clean water. And why would you use it to wash your body when you can drink it?
Move to a place. Well, I mean, they were already using beer for beverages. Wash your body
Yeah.
in beer. Fuck. I mean, it's not. It'll leave you a little sticky. It won't be. You'll smell funny, but you already did. I mean, it's like you smelled worse before you
Yeah,
bathed
it'd be
in
better to
beer.
smell
At
like
least you
beer than
smell. Yeah.
BO.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and if like the way they drink beer anyway, you're gonna smell like it all the time. So, use beer. Anyway, so yeah, like, dig Karl Marx up every couple of years. We'll burn him in effigy and be like, look,
Yeah.
this bastard was wrong. Instead, we have like CNN being like, dear Carl, you were right. Happy 200th birthday.
Oh God, did they really do that?
Yeah,
I
Germany.
don't.
Germany did that. Germany shut down. They
I
had
know,
a
that's so
huge celebration.
ridiculous.
That is
They had a
ridiculous.
They're,
huge celebration for Karl
it's
Marx's
like,
birthday.
I know
Like, do you
that's
guys remember
crazy.
World War One? Do
So you
you?
remember World War II? It's like National
No, they
Socialism.
remember
It's
World
a
War Two
branch.
perfectly.
It's like if
They
it,
remember
it's
World
like
War Two
Marx.
perfectly, too well.
It's like people
They're like,
always
we're
are
a
like,
bunch
oh,
of bad people.
communism is better than National Socialism, but they're branches of the same thing. They're almost the
Yes,
exact same thing,
yes,
and
they are
people don't
the exact
understand
same
that.
thing. Yes, they're the exact same thing. Just that we caught Germany murdering people. We didn't catch Russia doing it. Yeah, because they have more territory.
Right.
Like, we couldn't have got in
Yeah.
there to find out that they were murdering those 200 million people. But 100 years later, we
Oh yeah,
know about it.
Well, whatever the number is, I think is much higher. If they say there was
It's
200
one of those,
million,
yeah,
there
it's
was
one of those
more.
numbers that fluctuates, right? And it's the only
Oh,
one
I'm
that
sure.
goes down.
So you don't know if they,
Like
especially if they
Hitler's
burn the
number
body.
goes up. Hitler's number goes up
Well,
every now and again.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go from
the
6
thing is,
million to
yeah.
11 million, and then all of a sudden it's 15 million, and they'll jump back down to like
Well,
8.
well, it's usually about 6. That's
Yeah.
a special number. So for some reason, 6 million is a special number. But I
Mhm.
suspect we know there was more than 6 million people that were killed during the occupation, Germany's occupation. And so,
Mm,
yeah, not all of them were Jews, of course, but more than
yeah,
6 million people
well,
were killed.
so
But
from what I understand,
if they
it's
actually
6
burned them,
million of the 11 million people. There were 11 million people they say died
no, I think there was
because of German
no,
occupation.
you mean just in
Because of
prison
German.
camps?
Yes,
Okay.
they say
Well,
it's
like
11 million. 6
the
million of those 11 million were Jews, is
well,
what
the
they
one
say.
Right.
out
Yeah,
of
I
all
think
the
that's
people,
what I've heard too. Like
that's all
6 million.
Mhm.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
out of the all the people that died, they think that maybe it might be 50 to 60 million were killed. And it's like most of those people never made it to any kind of death camp or prison camp. They were just
Right.
killed in the street. And
Right.
so,
Well, no,
and it's
but
like
we're talking. I
those
mean,
people,
that
all those
number
people
is
are
even
forgotten. Those
inclusive.
people are forgotten,
Yeah.
and the people like they basically took all the people that were handicapped and mentally ill or
Mm-hmm. Those were the
cards,
first ones to
basically.
disappear.
It's like those
Yeah.
went. They aren't counted in those numbers because they weren't murdered. They went
Well,
to
no, I think those people are
asylums.
supposed to be counted in the 11 million.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Maybe they're
That's
counted
what
at
I'm saying.
50
I think 11 million is what they say was
Total
the total
killed
death
6
count.
Jews.
Yeah, 6 million of those were Jews.
Yeah,
Is
I
what
think
they
that's
say.
what I've heard
And
too. Because it's always 6 million Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm
I wouldn't.
skeptical of those
See, it seems
numbers.
to me. It
Me
seems
too,
to me
because the
that
numbers
those numbers.
change.
I think those
Yeah.
numbers are
Well, not
probably
just change,
higher.
but
But there's some kind of spirit.
really,
There's some
like
kind of
how many
cult.
million people are there in America?
300 million at least. No,
300
or
million
citizens.
people in
300.
America.
No, 300 citizens. 300 million citizens. Those are
Not
people
counting
that
the
we know.
illegal aliens.
Right. That's
Gotcha.
so. There might be like 400 million people in America right now, or maybe
It's
we
really
don't really know.
interesting. Right. No, we don't really know because like they've been telling us 11 million immigrants since
For
like
the
the mid
last
For like
30
20.
years, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it's like 11 million times 30. It's like
Right.
it's like
Right.
so there's 600
Well,
million
didn't
people in the
Nancy in that
United
book,
States.
she thought there was like there could be up to 50
She
million
did
illegal
she
aliens?
got 30. Yeah, her number that she was willing to stick to, like that she was willing to say this is the minimum, was 33 million.
That
She's like, they've
sounds
been
about
lying to us
right.
about she said the number hasn't changed in 30 years. So she took their
I don't
11
think that would
million,
make any sense.
11 million and she multiplied it by 3. And she
Uh-huh.
said, so I think because yeah, I mean, she had a math equation. The reason she did it that way, but then she said she was like, but I believe it is probably much closer to 50, if not more.
Yeah, because you don't
And
know, and
I
it's
can
not
agree
just
with that.
not just
I
people
can
from
agree with
Mexico,
that.
but people from like South America and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and
Yeah.
even people from other countries. We get a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
from like China and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these other countries, like in Asia.
Well,
Yeah.
whenever they do that,
And I'm
whenever
fine
they
with
give,
Asians. Please bring some more Asians
Well,
whenever
on
they give
over.
out the number of how many
Some
people
of the
there
Asians
are,
we get
it's
though
always
are
more. It's
Yeah.
always more. And for some reason,
Yeah.
I want to get back to the thing
Right.
about
Okay.
Germany. That 6
Yes.
million number, that has some
Mm-hmm.
occultic meaning. So
Right.
it's like that's not the real number. The real number is probably more than they're
Uh-huh.
saying. But that 6
You
million
think?
is very significant.
I don't know, but you got to think how many people were around back then. Like he was saying, the think of
Yeah.
all the
It just
think
seems
about what
like
Israel's 2 million people. They said
yeah.
it's like the size
Yeah.
of New Jersey.
No,
So think the
no.
European countries are really small.
Israel
Yeah.
it's like 9
I mean,
million.
Europe
Not,
itself.
Israel is
Europe
now
itself.
like 9 million now, and so
Yeah.
by what is it, the 2020 or 2022? I can't remember.
Right.
6 million of those people will be dead.
Right.
That's the way. According to the Albert Pike letter. That's how it's going to happen.
Okay. So
You know,
so let's
that's what's
say
going to happen.
Europe is smaller than
You
China,
understand that?
right?
You guys understand that? Israel will
Yes.
fall in 2020. There will be no Israel, or if there is anything left, it'll be a rubble land. It'll be a wasteland.
Okay. So
with a bunch of dead people.
I haven't read that letter. I've watched some information on it. Do you have like a
Yeah,
really
watch
good
some
video
videos about
on
it. Yeah, no need to read the real thing. Just watch some videos.
Do you have any good videos? Who has a good video about it?
I can't think of anyone right
Rock's
now.
the one that told me about it.
I'll have
But
to.
well, just look it up. Look up Albert Pike's letter on YouTube, and you'll find it.
Okay.
Find a bunch of conspiracy videos.
Yeah.
Basically,
of course, a lot of that stuff has been taken down. Like I have found. All sorts of stuff is just constantly.
But the thing is, that letter predicted World War I, World War II.
Yep.
It predicted Israel. It's like written back in the 1850s or 60s or something, like around the Civil War. It predicted predicted everything that has happened as far as big major worldly events. It has predicted all of those things.
Yeah.
And one of those things, and basically it's predicted the SJWs, the communism. The far right, alt right people, and so basically, what their plan is to have World War III, and all those people that are in any kind of ideology group, they're all going to be wiped out, and then when everyone's dead and there's a few of us left, we'll all be converted to Luciferianism. That's the plan. And that plan's been in effect for over 100 years, and I think there are people that truly believe it. It's like it sounds crazy, but I know there are people that are in power that truly believe it, which is scary.
I have absolutely no problem buying into the Luciferian New World Order.
So what is Luciferian?
Did you watch that video I sent you?
So you're being a Satan, worshiping Satan. You want to worship Satan?
No.
That's what the New World Order is all about.
Being Hillary Clinton.
Right?
I mean, just basically like the whole. like the whole, yeah, I mean, that's what we're all supposed to be in the New World Order is Luciferian. We eat children, I guess.
Well, no, I
I mean,
think all the
I
people that
just,
do that kind of stuff, all the people that do that debauchery, they are
hmm
all going to be wiped out. So those people won't be around anymore. They'll be killed off, just like the
So who's
yeah,
going to be
communists.
left?
Just like in Russia during after the communist
Chelsea
revolution, all the
Clinton.
good communists were killed off because they
Yeah,
didn't want them to upset the norm, and so that's
right.
how it will happen. All the people that are helping bring about the New World Order, most of them will be murdered off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I
That's
mean,
how it works.
they're,
They'll have to.
yeah,
They'll have to do that
the
because they
Goyim.
don't.
I get it.
Those people will
Yeah.
fight back against them.
Uh-huh.
Like if
Yeah.
you've lived your entire life for nothing but evil, and then all of a sudden, oh, we've got what we wanted. You can't do evil anymore. You think they're going to
hmm
stop? No, they all have to be killed.
So who will be left then? Who are they not going to kill?
Bunch of rich people. We won't be.
He
That's why
like
we have guns.
I
hopefully
know that's.
not much
I think
longer.
really America. I really do. I think America is the only is because of America. This plan would have probably happened a lot sooner if it hadn't been for the Second Amendment because they can't take over America the way they can other countries.
Yeah, they've got to
Right.
nuke us.
Oh, and I don't question. I don't think that they wouldn't. Oh, did you hear about that? Speaking of nuking, which would something that
hmm
would be worse than being nuked. So the Yellowstone, the
Oh,
Steamboat Geyser is been
uh-huh.
erupting. It's erupted more in 2018 since the 1960s. So
Yeah.
Really?
they're like, oh, there isn't any volcanic activity. It's on top of a super volcano, and then a geyser is
hmm
erupting multiple times in a year. It's been
hmm
dormant for like 50, 40
Yeah.
years.
So imagine if
Something's
like
up. I think that's
right
called
now,
volcanic activity.
I
And then
wonder
you
what would
got
happen
the
if they dropped a nuke right on that volcano.
oh,
Oh, we'll all be
I saw
gone, I'm
something
sure.
I
hmm
saw something that wouldn't you'd have to have like some kind of bunker buster type nuke that could travel down fairly deep to get the main to really do some damage but it's like
To
but
cause it to
that's
react. What do you?
yeah like a big reaction where
I,
it just basically blows a hole in the
okay.
United States. That's what happened. It's
Right.
like we would be breathing in dust. It's like I don't know if we would.
Well, I saw a
So
I
like, what
don't.
map
about?
once and it showed the states that would be affected. And I think
Uh-huh.
we would get a little ash because we're far enough
Uh-huh.
away from
The
it,
thing
but
is, the
some
whole
states
world would
would
be
be just
affected.
gone.
It
Yeah,
would
we'd be
go
affected, but
Yeah.
it might not kill us. Like you said,
right
Right.
initially.
we'd be
We'd
breathing, we
probably
might get
freeze to
lung
Right.
death.
cancer or
I
something.
think we would
Right.
freeze to death before we died of lung cancer. Because what will happen?
I'll be
There'll be a
back.
big giant smoke cloud. We'll have a nuclear winter type situation where everything's frozen, everything, no plants grow, only people that have underground greenhouses, people that live in the underground metal castles, they'll get to live. We won't.
Who says that? The scientists?
Yeah. Well,
Well, then I'm not going to worry about it.
the regular
I don't.
scientists won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
I don't. I don't worry much about what scientists say. They're not very good at their job. They don't do science anymore.
well, they've all gone social justice. They have to because if they
Yeah.
don't, they get fired.
Well, not just that, but I mean, they all have their worldview that they have to.
Well, like the whole climate or global warming thing where they're all like it's 97% agree. Well, they
hmm
all do because they know if they don't agree, they get
hmm
fired. They'll get
Yeah.
ridiculed. It's like
Yeah.
you're not a good scientist. You've just
hmm
proven yourself wrong
Yeah.
by
Plus,
not
they've got
agreeing
their
with
like
us.
14-year-old billion worldview, which I just don't find very palatable.
Now what?
Like their 14 billion year old universe, and they're what is it like?
Oh, what do you
Our
think it's
Earth
always
is 11 million or 11 billion years old, or they change the numbers all the time.
You know what? This is how I feel about it.
hmm
they can't know how old the Earth
Right.
is. We don't
hmm
have the technology to determine that. They can
Well,
guess
it
based on
doesn't
what we
matter. They
they
can
can
guess.
base
Yeah, they can make
they
lots
can
of
best based on
guesses.
what we know about the Earth. They can be like, oh, this is how much we think because of these reasons. Da 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 da.
Uh-huh.
But they
Right.
don't really know because it's like
hmm
it's like okay in the beginning if you believe like the Bible in the beginning there was God. But and
hmm
it's like then he created the heavens and the earth. But it's
hmm
you know what I mean? And it's like how
Yeah.
long did that take? It's like we don't know what was going on before that. It's
No, we
like
don't know what's going on before that.
it's
Right.
like
No, I, yeah.
if you're a Bible believer, there's only so much in the Bible that
Yeah.
they can write down. which I don't.
Well, no, not
I don't
just that, but
understand.
I don't believe God came into existence and then He created existence. Yeah, I mean, I don't, I agree with you. I have no need to age the universe.
So there's a big chunk of
Um,
time that even if it's like
Possibly,
if you're
yes,
if that you
possibly.
can't that can't be accounted for, regardless if you believe in if you don't even if someone's an atheist, it's like
Hmm.
how do you really know? It's like we
Yeah.
only know based on our primitive tools that
Just
we
the
have now.
idea of evolution is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. And they do nothing but disprove it time and again. And yet it's not gone away. They're going to keep on pushing it because they have to have it. They have to have this idea that there is no right and wrong. Just happens.
I don't understand why that's what the evolution
Hmm.
thing. I do believe in evolution, but I don't know if they have it
Okay.
100% right. There's something to it, but it's like that isn't the only answer. It's like it didn't just. I don't think it just happened on its own. Something had to kickstart it into motion.
Indeed.
If
Indeed.
evolution is the way the scientists and the academic world believes in it,
Hmm.
it couldn't have. I don't think it would have just happened
No.
arbitrarily. It would have something had to
No, it
kick it
doesn't.
or kickstart it. Something it
And
didn't just happen on its
absolutely.
own.
Well, and that's why they hate the Cambrian explosion. They hate it because just all of a sudden things exist, as opposed to they're like, oh, there should be nothing but some cells, right? If you go down and just that like digging down deep enough, you get cells and like what? You dig down deep enough and you're going to be able to find like this column of evolutionary biology? That's stupid. And it doesn't exist anywhere. Their column doesn't exist anywhere. And I mean, when was the last time you saw a species change?
Well, I haven't lived
Or
long enough.
anybody ever in the history of time was the last time you heard about special change? I remember back in the 90s when they told us that polar bears were becoming fish.
Oh,
What?
really?
Wait,
I don't
what?
even remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I don't believe
yeah.
that. You ever told?
Yeah,
Was that like a private
yeah.
Christian school?
Huh?
Was that like a private Christian school?
No, I went to public school, dip.
That's crazy. Okay,
Yes,
like a
yeah.
small
Polar bears
town.
were becoming
Yeah.
fish, like right in front of our eyes.
I don't think
I don't
so. Oh,
know.
because they could swim.
I never
Oh,
like
because they
delved
could
into
swim.
it.
So
Yeah,
I could
I don't
understand.
know.
It's like they're
I
not
have, yeah.
polar bears are not turning into dolphins. So like
No, I
dolphins
know. I'm
and
not worried
whales,
about it.
they used to
Yeah.
be they were supposed to be land mammals, and they came out of the sea, became mammals, and then they decided, oh, we like the ocean better, so they went back to the ocean
Well,
and
that's
became
dumb.
and that.
That's just dumb. That's like a dumb, like, yeah. And I know because that, like, apparently, like whales and dolphins also became bears, right? Like
Wait,
bears
what?
and whales are supposed to be one break off of
Wait, what?
whales. Yeah,
Oh,
no, yes,
really?
yes. Bears and
No,
dolphins. Yeah, bears and whales and
they're all
dolphins are supposed to be
related.
related.
So
I'm not fucking shitting
so
you. I don't make this shit up. I
so
don't
that's
need
what is
to.
that what they're talking about? The bears turning into
Yes,
fish, they're actually turning
yes,
back into.
yes. Like the
Who said
bears,
this? Who
the
started
whales.
this?
I don't know. You can
Where are you
Google
getting
it.
this information
Google it.
from?
Google it. I don't know. I can't remember. I read it somewhere. Guys, I read a lot. Don't I can't think my sources right now. I'm
Or
sorry. Let me
could
look.
it be
Let
a
me look.
false
Hold on.
memory?
Hold
Could it
on.
be a
I'm
false
gonna
memory?
Google. It could be. No, it could possibly be a MK Ultra memory.
Oh.
Bears and whales are becoming butterflies. Okay, so Googling bears relation. All right, bears evolutionary. We're also really close to bananas. Did you know that?
I did not. Is it because we
Humans,
were
Me
yeah.
neither.
monkeys?
Yeah, we might have been bananas in a past life or in a past evolutionary development. First we were bananas and then we became people, except for the monkeys. Okay, so bears evolutionary related to whales. Haha. Googling, Oogle. How did whales evolve? Smithsonian.
Can you do share screen?
I don't know
Do
how
that.
to do that.
Oh, if you go to the right or the left, there's like a little green monitor or emoji with an arrow on it, and it
Okay,
says
like so within the
share screen.
Hangout.
Yeah.
So I go, okay, so I got the Hangout screen up. And if I go where? Up into
There's like a
the
little green
settings.
icon. Are you on your phone or on a computer?
I'm on my phone.
Oh, you may not have access to that.
Yeah. Let me see. Help and feedback might tell me something. Describe your issue. Share screen. Share your photos, videos, or something. Oh, I can share my photos, videos, or location. Delete photos and videos. So I can take a. Okay. Let me try. See if I can take a picture of the. So anyway, I'm at the Smithsonian Magazine Science and Nature site.
Oh, okay, Smithsonian. Or would you look up
Yeah.
bears turning into fish?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did whales evolve? Originally mistaken for dinosaur fossils, whale bones, da 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 da. Okay, looking for bears. Bears, bears, bears.
Bears turning into forest drive.
Well, all the frogs are gay now. These ancestral creatures were stranger than anyone ever expected. A hill collapsed on the Arkansas property of Judge H. Bry and exposed a long sequence of 28 of the circular bones. He thought they may be of scientific interest and sent to a package. Good grief. Good grief.
Can't find it.
Are you the SmithsonianMag.com has a thing, how
Yeah,
did
it's
whales evolve? Is that what
forever.
you're looking up?
Yeah. Yeah. The evolution of whales, understanding evolution. I don't see a bear. Damn it. Darwin saw the whale in the black bear. The New York Times. So you know it's credible.
Yeah, they'd have to do some kind of DNA sequencing to even know if
How
that
the
was.
whale lost its legs and returned to the sea. Maligns Charles Darwin for not understanding how evolution could bring about the whales from land mammals. Quite the contrary. Darwin stated in the first edition of The Origin of Species, in North America, the black bear was seen swimming for hours with widely open mouth,
Oh.
thus catching, like a whale, insects in the water. Even so, even in so extreme a case as this, if the supply of insects were constant and if the better adapted competitors did not already exist in the country, I can see no difficulty in a race of bears being rendered by natural selection more and more aquatic in their structure and habits, with larger and larger mouths, till the creature was produced as monstrous as a whale. So, Charles
Darwin, he was
Darwin.
widely ridiculed for this passage.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll bet he did. So, Charles Darwin is a moron. I mean, I think like that. I think that's all you need. Like, hey, did Charles Darwin believe that whales were bears? Yes, he did. Well, what a fucking idiot. Hello?
Yeah, I think
Are
Yeah.
that.
you guys
Yeah,
there?
I think it
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
I don't
He
think.
was
Well,
an
he didn't even
idiot.
know about DNA. He didn't
No,
know about DNA. He
he was
saw
a
some animals look
buffoon.
similar,
He
but
was a
it's like he didn't.
buffoon. He was an inbreeding buffoon.
Oh, he
Oh,
was
did
an
he
Fucked
marry
his
inbreeding.
his
cousin.
cousin?
Yeah, he was having all those babies with his cousin. And they all died or ended up in mental asylums.
Hmm.
So I don't want to believe in anything that guy said. Like that's the kind of thing that's exactly the kind of thing that they burned David Koresh's church down for, or accused of him of doing, and then burned his church down. But Charles Darwin, we're going to teach as science.
Well, I don't think. Well, the evolution is
No,
not what
mhm.
Charles Darwin did not
Right,
coin evolution,
right. No, no.
but
What?
he didn't coin the
Huh?
term evolution.
No, he didn't, because the people before that who believed in evolution believed that if you left a pile of rags in the corner, it would spawn bugs and mice. Just dirty rags in the corner. That's where bugs and mice came from. They evolved out of dirty rags.
I don't think that's how it works. But
That's exactly how it worked,
that might be
actually.
that might be how they believed, but that's
Right. Do you think I'm just like, why am I going to bring this to the table and just make it up? Like, I'm not. I promise you, there is no
it
reason.
sounds
Like, this is
interesting
not
though.
just
I think
shit that
it's
comes out of my
funny.
head.
I
Like,
think it's
oh,
funny.
I'm just going to let some shit fall out of my mouth. People are always telling me I'm a liar, always, and then they go and they check my sources. Just like a second ago,
Oh,
when I was reading to you from my sources that said Charles Darwin said that bears were evolved from whales, or
yeah,
whales evolved into
I never
bears.
heard of
I
that.
just think it's
I
funny.
know, I
I'm
know.
not.
I
It's
read
just
this insane
crazy,
shit. This is the kind
right?
of thing I love. I love crazy. I find it in all of its like because I think it was Ann Coulter actually was where my first source of that came. I think she did talk about in Godless. Was it
Godless.
Godless
Yeah, where she
or was
talks
it?
about
Yeah, it was
evolution.
Godless where she talks
Yeah.
about evolution. So then I went and did some like fact checking, and there it was brown bears or black bears became whales. It's like, wait, so which came first, the black bear or the bear or the whale? Because we're all supposed to have spawned from aquatic creatures, right?
I'm
Well,
not
so no,
sure.
so the
Like
whale
all of a
the
sudden, the fish were like,
wasn't the
I'm going to
bear.
climb up this tree, and they became
Well,
some
the thing.
monkeys.
Well, this is what
And then, like
happened. The
flying
fish, yeah.
dinosaurs, they
So
just kept
that's what
jumping off of
happened. The
cliffs
fish
until
came
they
out of
learned how
the
to
ocean.
fly. Thank God.
Basically, what happened? The fish came out of the ocean, turned into lizards and mammals, or lizards. Then the lizards evolved into mammals, and then the mammals. Some of them decided to stay on land, and some of them went back into the water. And those are where we get the
Mhm.
dolphins and whales
Right.
and all their
So,
relatives.
but why wouldn't all the lizards evolve? Why were some of the lizards stupid? Why
That was
didn't all the
God's.
monkeys
Don't you
evolve?
believe in
And you know
God's
what?
plan?
I've always found something really weird is like we're supposed to be the most highly evolved, right?
Hmm.
Right?
Right.
So why are our
Okay.
babies born helpless and stay that way? Like now it's 32 years, but it used to only be like
Right.
17. Like people used to
Right.
actually learn how to take care of themselves at some point. But now,
Oh.
but like why are our babies completely helpless if we're like the pinnacle of evolution? Why aren't
Right.
they
Because
born with like some
if you leave them
ability?
alone, they'll die because they won't be able
Yeah,
to eat or
yeah.
do
Well, like even
anything.
if you feed them, they'll die. Like
What's the thing? I
babies,
think there was like a
human
hiccup.
babies need contact. Children can
Technically, I
die
think
of no
we're a
contact.
hiccup. If we're see, that's the thing about evolution. I don't think it answers the whole. It's not the whole answer or story to the
No, it's a complete and utter
No.
question. Because
farce.
because if
It's
it
a
is,
lie from
humans are
beginning
hiccups.
to end.
Because what is evolution? Is basically the animal the species adapts over time so it can
Uh-huh.
grow and
Fine, I'm cool.
reproduce
Yes, no, I'm cool
oh,
with
the
adaptation.
most.
I'm fine
And
with
so it's like
adaptation.
if that is what
I'm
it
not so much
is,
survival of the
then
fittest, but I do
well that's
believe in
what it is.
adaptation.
Well, that well,
Yes, but
I
no, you
what's kind
don't
of like
adapt.
what's
You
kind of is
don't
like
adapt
survival of
from
the
a
fittest.
monkey into a person. You don't
And
adapt from being a
so
monkey into being
so
a
we're not we
person.
it's like we've actually it's like being born helpless that
Hmm.
allows the baby to grow or to for our because we have a larger brain we're supposed to be able to come out or be born earlier so we're not
Right.
fully developed when we're born. We're most mammals they're capable of walking and running
Yeah.
around as
Within
soon as they're
15
born.
minutes and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I
because
just, I,
kittens are born blind,
So
but then what they can see within a day or two, or
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I'm
like
just saying, I'm just saying,
but
like,
human babies can see what the day they're born.
yes, they can.
right, they just can't
And
do anything
so
else.
they are they're more developed than like a puppy or a cat
Yeah, but they
when
can
they're
see
born.
themselves starve to death. I mean, they're not going to be able to survive. They're not more developed than a puppy or a cat. Like a kitten, I've seen plenty of kittens be like deserted by their mothers and managed to, or killed and managed to make a life and managed to survive. Dogs do it
From
too.
day one.
It's
From
just,
day one.
not from day one. No,
No,
no.
no,
But
that's what
it
I'm
But
doesn't
saying.
take them as
That's
long.
what I'm
like
saying.
day five at least. But day five
I don't
for a
know.
human being. I mean,
Oh,
if
you'd
you
still
left a
not
baby
be able to
alone at two
survive.
years old, well, I mean, if you left a child alone, if you just turned a child out into the woods at 5 years of age, most children are not going to live. It is not going to be Mowgli.
Right.
They have to
Well,
have
to
a
be
pet look
fair,
at.
kittens and dogs and things don't live as long as we do either. You know, what
Okay.
their average lifespan
Yeah,
is
our
like
lifespan
2
is longer.
days to them
I
would
think
be
that's
like
I
probably
think
a
that's what
couple
it is.
years when you
Right.
think that
What
Yes.
is
most
dog
of them
years
only
every
live like
7
10
human years?
years
Is it one
But
dog
why
year?
would that? Why would we evolve that way? Why would evolution, if evolution is what evolution is supposed to be, why would we evolve that way? Why would we not be more improved? Do you
Because
understand? Like
at
what I'm
some
saying
well,
is,
well, the
why
reason
wouldn't
is
we
at some
have? Why
point
wouldn't we have the
it was
ability to take care of ourselves at 2 days of age
well at
and
some
live
point a
still for
bigger
80
brain was
years,
more important. I think there had to have been a time that was relatively
billions
peaceful.
of years ago?
So a bigger brain was better
Uh,
than being able to run away real quick because there was no need to run away for whatever reason. You didn't need to run away
A
because
bit like
you had
what?
adults
Back when
to
dinosaurs were
protect you.
roaming the earth, bigger brains?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we had to have bigger brains, so that's why we're
Because
born
running away from a
undeveloped.
dinosaur wouldn't be better than thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like obviously there wasn't anything for us to run away from when if we evolved the way we did, we were
When?
evolved in a non-threatening environment like the
When?
Garden of Eden.
When?
like
That
Clan of
was
the
in
Cave
it's
Without
called
the
Patrol.
Garden
it's
of
the
Eden.
Garden of Eden.
Without the Garden of
Exactly.
Eden. Without the Garden of Eden.
That's basically
When?
what the
You
story
don't
of the
get the
Garden
Garden
of
of
Eden.
Eden if you're arguing evolution. You
Why
don't
not?
get that. You're not allowed to just, you can't just borrow shit from other people's belief systems. I mean, I know
No
that's what they
cultural
do all the
appropriation.
time. They love it.
That's like why I don't understand why God and evolution can't be exist at the same time. I don't
Because
understand it.
you believe, because evolution teaches that the earth is 14 billion years old, that man has been here for how long? How many millions of years? Where the Bible says 6,000 years ago, in a 7 day creation period, man came into existence. Everything came into existence that is alive on the earth. That doesn't work. You can't say that, oh, well, no, what that means is billions of years. No, the Bible emphatically states in a 24-hour period, the sun came up, God created this,
Well,
and then
no,
the sun went
it's a
down.
day. It's
That
a
was day
day. Or
one.
in the Bible,
It
if
says
you read
that was
according
day
to the
one.
King James
That was
version,
day. That was
but
day
it
one.
doesn't say 24-hour period. That
Oh,
24-hour
I'm
period
sorry, they
has
didn't break
not
it
even
down for you that way.
they didn't
But
know about hours until like a couple
they keep what? They didn't know that a day was 24 hours. They may not break it
not
down
back
into
in
hours
not
like you did, like we
Adam and
do,
Eve didn't.
but they
Yeah.
know that when the sun came up, the day began, and that when the sun went down, the day was over. And they
So
use
before the
the
sun,
one
because
word. They
remember,
use the
okay,
word. They use
the
the
word
same
day.
word for
So the
day that
day,
they use all
okay,
throughout the Hebrew Bible.
okay. So before the sun was made,
What?
the sun was not created on the first day.
I know.
So how could that first
It still
day?
says the
How do you
exact same.
measure that first day?
Still
How do you
uses the
measure
same.
that first
Are you
day?
really? Are you? You're arguing the Bible with me. They
Yeah.
use the exact same Hebrew word that they use for the day the sun was created. They use the exact same Hebrew word for the Sabbath that they used 5,000 years later for the Sabbath. It's the exact same period of time.
Well,
If they
in
admit
The Bible does
billions
say
of
a
years,
day
if
for
they
God
admit
is like a
billions
blink
of
of an eye.
years, no, it says it's a
Or a
thousand
thousand. What is
years.
it? 1,000 years for
1,000 years.
1,000 years
Okay,
for
so
God is like
that
a blink
still
of an eye.
doesn't mean a
And I don't
billion.
think that's
That still
the
doesn't make a
specific.
billion.
But it doesn't mean that
And what that's
thousand.
talking, and that's speaking metaphorically. That's speaking about the earth
Yeah.
being 6,000 years old when Christ returns. That's speaking of them. It's metaphorical. It is an artistic representation. It is not meant to be a literal representation. And it is in no way, there is in no way a connection between this 1,000 years for God, the one day for man, or the one day for God, 1,000 years for man, and any
Yeah.
sort of like creation
Well, and this is how I feel. This is
events.
what I think. I think the whole from the beginning of or the first day onward, if you want to believe in that 6,000 year time period, that is the beginning of our current civilization that we know of now. That's where our history begins. Because
But
before
why would
that,
it say
everything
he
was destroyed in a
created the
great
fish?
cataclysm.
He created fish. He created, but there's never been a time
Grew him out of
that God
he
made
grew him out of he
cataclysm.
basically had a 3D printer. Noah
Uh,
had a 3D printer and printed all the animals out from the DNA chips that he brought from his home planet. That's what I believe.
All right. So Brando's just
So basically,
you're a
this is
Scientologist now.
no, in a way, I guess in a
No,
way,
you're yeah, you just became a
this is how it worked.
Scientologist.
This is what I
You just
believe
became a
happened.
Scientologist.
So there was
Tom Cruise,
in the
you
beginning.
and Tom Cruise are bros.
Yeah, listen to this. In the beginning,
Uh-huh.
before the Bible, so there was
Mhm.
4 major civilizations. There was Venus, Earth, Mars, and Tiamat. Now there
Mhm.
isn't a Tiamat anymore, but
Oh
there is
shit.
asteroid belt.
Oh
Is
And
that
so
shit.
Scientology's beliefs?
no,
No,
Okay.
completely
no,
different.
that's
And so
Sitchin.
basically,
That's
the
Sitchin.
story of
That's
Noah,
Sitchin. You're throwing
the
fucking
story.
Sitchin
This is what I
out.
believe. This is what I
No,
think.
no,
The story of
no,
Noah is
no.
actually Noah collecting all the DNA samples of all the life forms of his home
Zachariah
world, and
Sitchin.
then bringing it here.
Zachariah Sitchin.
And then he
So are
basically
you
he grew everything in test tubes, and then he was like, "There you go out and play and multiply." And so the God that Adam and Eve believed was God was really Noah, or Noah-like archetype. And so the story of Noah and the flood, that's just a retelling of that. Because we have evidence that there are floods on Earth.
So there's a website called Why Sitchin
it's
is Wrong.
And it's like that proves your DNA, your evolution isn't true. It's like my little theory. It's like if we're all aliens from outer space, we didn't evolve. We were grown from
Okay.
test tubes.
So what you need to do is read Zachariah Sitchin, so you know where this belief system comes from, and then you need to go to the website called Why Zachariah Sitchin is Wrong.
I don't even know who Zachariah Stitchins is.
I know, but you believe in the same thing he did.
Oh, he believes in Tiamat.
Yeah.
What is Tiamat?
It's basically the planet that doesn't exist anymore
Planet
because
X.
it was destroyed during the Great War of the four. Like all 4 worlds were destroyed, and so all the survivors, Mars, the atmosphere was completely obliterated. Venus, you can't live on there anymore because it basically became too acidic to live there. And so all the survivors came to Earth, and we live in a happy harmony. So we've got the Asians.
We live in happy harmony. We're not doing a very good job of that.
No.
Yep, more or less. We're not blowing each other up.
So this is where all the races come from?
Yeah, they all come from their own planet.
So where do the white people come from? Are we from Venus?
The best planet. We're from the best planet.
Are we
Earth.
Venusians? Oh, no. Yeah. Well, some of the people are from Earth. They'd have to be. So there would probably be Venusians, Martians, Earthlings, and
wow.
Wow,
you really like. That's funny. Like, so gay people are from Uranus. And I mean that really, because that's what that belief system incorporates. Like,
I don't know, but
were called Uranians. They were third sex from Uranus. Really?
Oh, maybe. Well, there are like in the ancient Sumerian cave drawings or little drawings.
Yeah.
They have 7 planets that they or stars in the sky that they named, or they basically based all the ancient gods on, or like the Greek gods and stuff, the major ones.
Right.
There were 7 of them, and so Uranus was one of them. And they can, I guess, at some point they were able to. They knew about those planets.
So
how'd they know about that without there being spaceships and technology?
Tonight on YouTube, I want you to watch. His name is Christopher Hitchens. No, it's not Christopher Hitchens. That's wrong. No. Damn it! Why can't I send you a link? Hold on, give me a minute.
Zachariah
Sitchin. Yes, but let me get the name of the actual.
I think you're getting 2 different people. Christopher Hitchens is
Christopher Hitchens. Yeah, I know. Christopher Hitchens is debunking Zachariah Sitchin. Oh, there it is. Person that came up. So it's called. Okay, so there's the Nibiru hoax, and then the work of Zachariah Sitchin. Michael S. Heiser. Michael S. Heiser. Okay. And anything that he does about Sitchin is fascinating and sourced. So you need to watch that stuff. Okay. Are you listening to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, really, it's really interesting.
You said watch a video about Planet X. That's what you said?
What? No, you're not listening at all. Like I'm
No,
I'm just saying, like,
no,
you know,
I've watched.
if you want to
I have
have,
watched that. I've watched that stuff before. I'm sure I
yeah,
have, and it's
yeah,
all bullshit.
it's what?
It's all BS.
Oh, you don't like source materials.
No, if it's my
What about,
universe is
how do you feel about
my own
Zeitgeist?
creation.
Oh shit, you're one of
Oh, that
those.
movie,
Mm-hmm.
that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's I think it's people just wanting to make themselves feel better. Oh, we can help save everything, but they're really
Okay.
not going to do anything
Cool.
but make a movie.
What
Right.
is
Okay.
it?
Cool. Zeitgeist.
It's a
Is
movie?
that how you feel?
Yes.
Yeah,
It
it's like,
it
oh, you want to
it
help change the world and
it's a
make everything
commercial.
better
It's a
someday?
commercial for, don't believe in God, believe in communism instead.
Exactly. I was thinking the same
Hmm.
thing. I was
Yeah.
thinking the same
Yeah.
thing
That's yeah. It's just it's an hour and a half long commercial. They like
for communism,
go through,
but it makes
yeah,
it
they're
sound
like
better.
the
It makes it
dying and
sound.
rising God, and that woman
It
who
really
wrote those
does.
books
It
is
really does
fucking
make you
lunatic.
Is it
think.
on
Oh yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah, yeah, it's on YouTube.
Is it like a
The thing
movie
is,
or documentary?
It's a
it's a documentary
documentary.
type thing.
It's
But
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
bad. You should
So
watch it.
like,
But the thing
yeah,
is, it,
watch it,
but it,
and then there's
but you'll
another
when you watch
documentary
it,
about it called Zeitgeist Debunked. Watch that afterwards.
because it's like it does sound all nice and pretty and flowery. It's like, yeah, it
Hmm.
sounds like I want to be a good person. I want to do that. I
Yeah.
want to be a communist. But then when you
Hmm.
really dig into it, you realize it doesn't work and it's evil. It's
Yeah.
communism really is evil because it's
Yeah.
all about stealing. It's like
Yeah.
when you
Yeah. Well,
it
only
really is.
about
It's like
30
whoever
minutes
takes
of it is about is like trying to sell you communism. The first hour of the movie is them being like, Jesus never existed, and telling you lots of lies, lots and lots of lies about how there's
well there
absolutely no historical evidence for Jesus, which is
well
a
there's
load of shit.
speculations. Well, there is. That's the
It's
thing.
like,
There is
no, no, there's
historical
actual
evidence.
historical,
Well, no,
huh?
that's the thing. There is historical stuff about Jesus, and it's
Yes,
like
there's
just dismissing
absolutely
that.
historical evidence
Now
for
was his name
Jesus
really?
by
Was the guy name?
non-Christians.
Was the
No, his name was
actual
no, his name was
Jesus?
Yeshua. And
Whatever,
that's just,
whatever.
it's just an abbreviation. It's just an Americanized version, like every name from the Bible. Mary's name was not
Yeah.
Mary; it was Miriam. You know, every single Mary
What
in
was
the
it?
Bible was named
Well, it probably wasn't
Miriam.
Miriam. It
And
wasn't
no, it was
Miriam
an
either.
even
It was
more
whatever the
Hebrew. It
whether
was an even
yeah,
more
all
Hebrew
Hebrew. The
pronunciation
way
or
that
Greek
Hebrew is now.
pronunciation.
See,
Yeah.
Hebrew, what the Hebrew they speak now is not the
Mm-hmm.
Hebrew from the
It's
Bible
not even
because
no. Yeah.
languages evolve over time.
Hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, like the actual, like the cartography, or not cartography, the actual like cryptology of Hebrew has changed so much. Like if you've ever watched anything about, or if you've ever read anything about like ancient, like uh, paleo, what's the word I'm looking for, Brando? Anyway, old Hebrew, like the lettering system is really fascinating. Like what was contained in a word
Uh,
or in a
oh yeah, it
letter or
had
just a
several.
single letter,
Each
like
letter
Paleo
had several
Hebrew.
meanings. They
Yeah,
didn't have
Paleo
numbers.
Hebrew.
The letters
Yeah.
also were numbers and stuff too.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and
Very primitive.
yeah, yeah, not very
That's what's
primitive at
weird.
all.
It's like
Actually, incredibly
it question
complicated and
makes me
complex.
question. I think people add complexity to it
You
now
do.
that it didn't have back then because
What?
it's like
You think people have spent the
English is
last
more
like
efficient.
several thousand years?
English I think English is one of the
Definitely
is
more
more efficient
efficient.
than
Yeah, but
yes
that doesn't
English
mean
is
it's
much more.
more.
And so
Yeah, but
it's
that
more
doesn't mean
perfect. If
it's
it's more efficient, it's more
no,
perfect. And it's like
no,
God would not have
no,
chosen a
no.
primitive
What?
language like that to be his
Are you?
chosen people.
No, no, no. Just because it's more simplified doesn't make it better. I think God would have
No, that's what I'm
absolutely
saying.
chosen Paleo
I
Hebrew.
know that's
It's
what
an
I'm saying.
amazing
English
language.
is
I
more
mean,
efficient
everything
and
is,
it isn't as
yes,
simple.
yeah, but it's
It's
not
like
nearly as complicated, and it doesn't convey the message or the meaning that Paleo Hebrew did. I mean, each and every
you mean
letter,
Proto Hebrew?
each and
You mean
every
Proto Hebrew?
Paleo, no, not Proto, Paleo,
Oh yeah, I've never heard of
like
it.
ancient Hebrew,
Yeah.
like every single letter contained a message. Paleo Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew. Look it up.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating as well.
I'm sure it is.
Even not from a Christian. It's like I don't know why why
You need to say
ignore like
something, Sasha.
fascinating why ignore like fascinating depth of information, any information.
Because I don't have that. I only have I only have a short amount of time, and I don't want to study all that stuff. That's why I don't know a bunch of different languages. Because
Uh-huh.
if I wanted to spend
You
time
don't
learning a
need
bunch
to
of
know the
languages,
language, but
I
you
would
can at least
waste
learn
my life.
about the language. You can. Oh my
Oh, I do that all the time.
god.
It's like I
Yes,
can
I'm
look
just
at.
saying
I
learn
do that.
about it. Learn like just like
I can read.
I've so far
I can read
I've
Wikipedia.
so far asked you
I'm
to watch
sitting
a
at this
total
one,
of
and
3 hours worth of videos on YouTube. You can't like I know you watch at least 3 hours of videos on YouTube a
oh
day.
yeah, every day at minimum.
Yeah. I know.
Well, actually, probably more. And then I'm on
hmm
Wikipedia all the time too. It's like
Are you
I've studied all the ancient languages, ancient
on
Sumerian.
Wikipedia?
Yeah.
You're trolling me now,
I've researched.
Dick.
No, I'm serious. I've researched every language you can imagine, and
Uh-huh.
basically, I've researched thousands of subjects, all going through the Wikipedia articles looking for errors.
Are you a Wikipedia editor? Are you a wiki editor?
I've like on the
Uh-huh.
bottom wrong. I can like change like
Uh-huh.
is the
Yeah.
isn't,
Yeah.
but I can't like
You
I can't
are a
add anything.
Nazi. He's a Nazi. Did you hear that? He just admitted to being a Nazi.
No,
You
I
Nazi
didn't.
wiki editor.
Because I'm
Yes,
on
you
a
did.
Wiki.
You just said I'm a wiki
I'm
editor.
a, I'm on
You're
the lowest
evil. You're from the
level.
devil. Uh-huh. You're one of the low level
Well,
devils.
I suppose. I guess. Well, I can add. I don't. I think I'm. Actually, I might be banned still because I was trying. I made a website and
Oh.
was trying to link my website to a particular um
Wiki.
article on Wikipedia,
hmm
and then they someone in real time was deleting my link, and then I'd put it, and then I would re-edit it, put it back in. They deleted it again, and then I was
What were
banned from.
you? What were you? What were you? What the fuck, dude? That's awesome. That's like the coolest thing I've heard today. What? Like, how did you get banned from being a wiki editor? What were you trying
Oh,
to
I just
link
signed up
to?
for it. I had signed up for it.
It was porn,
That's
wasn't
all you
it?
do.
You were trying to. Wait, what?
You just sign up to be a
No,
wiki
no, no, no,
editor.
no, no. I know. Yeah, no. I mean, how did you get? Like, what were you trying to link to that got you banned from being a wiki
Oh,
editor?
my own private website about a particular city.
What particular city?
I can't talk. It's something I can't talk about on
Oh,
this chat.
hang out. Is it so? Do you still have the website up?
No, I deleted it. So I
Oh,
didn't do it. Since no one could find it, I couldn't. I was like, because that's why I
right?
did
Because
it. I was like,
there were no
people gotta find my
Wikipedia
website.
links.
I think if I put it
What's the
on
point of
Wikipedia,
having a
people
web?
will find
What?
my website.
Yeah, okay, I get it. It
And
was a
so
porn
if no one was
site.
going to
It
be able
was
to
a
find it
porn
anyway, I was
site.
like,
It
I'll
was a
just
porn site.
no, it actually wasn't. It just linked
Totally a
all
porn
the.
site, dude. It
It
was a
basically
porn
linked
site. It's
all.
okay.
It linked to all the businesses in in this particular city, all the entertainment, all the restaurants, all the different activities. It was actually a
And
pretty good website
whorehouses.
for making a 30-minute for like spending 30 minutes on it. And then I wanted to put it on Wikipedia, but they wouldn't let me.
Oh,
But it was only a 30-minute. I put about like 30 minutes into making it.
huh. Okay.
Websites aren't very hard to make
Well,
if
no,
you
no,
do them
no, no,
half-assed.
no. I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not doubting anything, but like, I just don't understand why they would ban you for your. But I mean, I'm sure you
Right,
could explain
because
to
it's
me
like you have to only
other
special
time.
people really have
Yeah,
the privilege to be
right.
editors.
Oh,
Like
to be able to link.
you can go in and like, oh, someone forgot to put a comma there, or they forgot a period.
Uh-huh.
That they'll let anybody can do that.
Right.
No
That's the
matter how
open
much.
source part of it. No,
So
I
any
know. I
yeah,
know.
but after a
It's
certain point,
very
if you wanted to be like,
yeah.
oh,
hmm
Hitler really didn't kill Jews, and you tried to put that in there, or if
Right.
you like, there's a people don't, not everybody believes that, and this is
Yeah.
why, and you tried to put
hmm
why that some people don't believe
Right.
that,
If you tried to like
then you
link to
wouldn't be
David
allowed
Duke,
to.
they'd be like, no,
Right.
no, no,
That get
no,
you they
no.
would not
Yeah.
allow that.
Yeah.
And it's like out there on some of his
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I know. Definitely.
Well, you
I
guys,
know.
I need to get going. It's almost 7.
Yeah, me too. I've had a great time though. This
Yeah, it
has
was
been awesome.
fun.
How long have we been on? Like 2 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really good time.
Well, actually,
I
I don't.
really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not. That,
And you
I'm
need
really
to
not
be
that familiar. I'm not
yeah,
really familiar with
with
David
David
Duke
Duke.
and his ilk,
Yeah.
and I'm not really
Okay.
interested in
Ilk.
learning more about him either.
Oh, you should.
All I know
His
is
whole book is on
he
YouTube.
was a
His
member
whole
of
book
the.
is
He
on
was like,
YouTube
wasn't he like a KKK Grand Master or
for
something?
27 minutes. He was a member
And
of the
that's long
KKK.
enough. That is
Like he
long.
wasn't even.
That's all I need to know.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, then you
All
can't
right,
vote
guys, I'm
Democrat
gonna
ever
go.
again. All right,
You,
love
All
you.
you
right.
can't do.
I love you both. I'll talk to you
Love you
later.
too.
All
Gotta
right.
All right,
go.
we'll
See you
see
guys
you.
later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.